We'll never have crew because of it, unless some enemy was like, hey, get it here. Remember that one guy who you let die?
Abby didn't die, she just disappeared from the story!
Well, I mean, we could sometime in 5 years want to be like, hey, remember this? How did that happen? And then I could be like, here. But I can't anymore for the death of Turvu.
It was the last episode.
Oh god, I just screwed myself. Derek hasn't met Joe yet.
Jill hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah. And so next time Jill comes up to smooch on Tona T, and Derek's gonna be like, whoa.
Yeah, I'll be back. I need to grab something to drink.
Mention Jill. Antonio needs a drink.
Derek also has not met the storm quite.
That is true.
And that's going to be a sight to behold. Of my character, whose campaign trait is... campaign trait flavor text features that he can't control his temperature. His temper.
Can't control his temperature. Gets too hot, he dies.
Yeah. Well, that's true. He's not a fire dragon, he's a black dragon, which is acid.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can't control his temper. And then there's rich, snobby assholes.
So what you're saying is we need to prepare for Dirk to be arrested.
Maybe. Dirk might break a leg or two. Or 4.
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Sergius! Because Sergius is a great beholder. Real friendly type. Rescues orphans and everything.
Yeah. And gets great statues and defects.
Yeah. Makes great statues.
Yeah. You know who we really need in this city?
What?
Dorcas.
Did you like the thing I made for homebrew for that future thing?
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hi, Dorcas.
I was just having a nap, and I'm just as I was going to bed. As I was going to bed, I thought of that, and I'm like, that's a really interesting idea. And then I started playing it out, and I wrote that thing up. I think it gives you a lot of potential for fun little dramatic moments. Like what happens if you're on a train and the train breaks down? Now you have to fix the train before the hungry ghosts of the north arrive. So, who wants to recap previously on Shackled City, now on Saturdays?
Previously on Shackled City, we met Dirk. Dirk hit Cage butt. We beat up the giant zombie null guy. I forget his name at the moment.
Darkalar!
Yeah, Darkalar, that guy. And then we almost got our asses handed to us by spiders.
Spiders!
So we went back to get some healing.
Yes.
That is good.
This is not my spell book. Oh.
And then there was the Pervu sound.
Yes. Then we had the Turvu side story.
Which failed immediately.
That ran into terrible, terrible problems.
Ran death immediately.
Oh no, Turvu's not dead.
Basically dead.
Turvu
No, he
is
got stoned.
yeah. Turvu is alive and conscious.
But unable to move, act, or anything other than stink. Stink? Think.
Yeah.
He is Dr. Stone now.
Yeah.
It's time to get excited.
Poor Turvu.
Yeah, now you're gonna fucking have to you're not gonna have to get out of that stone in like 30,000 years. Fucking bat poop medicine.
Fuck his dad's descendants.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You'll see.
Have you not? You need to Dr. Stone if you haven't.
Yeah, you need to catch up to Dr. Stone if you have.
Although I'm kind of pissed off with where the season ended because
Eventually.
that the season's over. 24 episodes is the season, and the end of episode 24, I'm like, rah, why?
Yeah, because they only has
24
21.
episodes. Really.
But yeah. So, if you are not opposed, I'm not to skipping, going back to town and just having you heal up and come back. I'm not opposed to it.
You're not opposed to it, which means that there will be consequences.
Yes, there are consequences to not going through and role-playing every moment of the trip back to town, and the healing, and the shopping, and all of that. Yes. Totally.
Dire consequence.
Dire consequences. It's totally not, because as a GM, I'm sick and tired of this fucking dungeon and want to get it done.
I'm sick of it too, and I want to get it done.
But you have all but one of the control rods. Do you really need the last one?
Yes.
I mean, it's just poor people.
It's just poor people.
Did you forget for a while I was poor people?
Yeah, what other Stormblades get?
If we don't get the last control rod, the Stormblades will get it. That means I get all the credit.
They're good for assholes.
Perfect. Flawless logic. So yeah, you can just be back where you left off.
Alright, let me just prep my goddamn spells. Fucking spiders.
I'm understanding that, so he just picks you up and carries you as you're preparing spells.
Fucking spiders. Okay, now which one should I prep? Which one should I prep extra up? Or should I go with that?
Well, the fact that I'm not high anymore.
Yay!
You know, I really should be prepping this spell more often.
Which spell is that?
Blood transcription.
That's only useful if you kill a wizard. I think. Isn't that the one where you learn a spell from a wizard by drinking their blood?
Think so?
It's by consuming 1 punt of blood from a spellcaster killed in the last 24 hours, you can attempt to learn a spell the spellcaster knows.
Yeah, there's no one alive. That's been dead for 24 hours.
Yeah, that's a spell that you prepare the next day after killing the spellcaster and draining their blood, you vampire.
You homicidal maniac.
Drakthar has had his way.
Actually, this is actually one of my beginners. Actually, no, that's not true. I had blood transcription since the second level.
But the important thing is you haven't used it yet. I wonder if there's some lingering Draktharnian influence.
I want the suck.
Oh,
That's it.
I wanted to finish that, but I got cold feet, and then it just came out worse. I literally have cold feet. Versus ventilation.
I'm surprised I have yet to use my unstoppable.
Oh yeah, let me prep this, let me prep that, let me prep the will die spell.
I like my unstoppable. It's cool.
Let's do...
I think give a class ability that's Orcish Philosophy, but better.
Okay, that's so 4. Got level 3. No, I need one more.
No.
4, 5. Need to make a wand of that. Get the chance. This will be useful. Oh yeah, I don't need to prepare this. Right, no, so I think I'll prepare this instead.
prepare.
Alright. Finally I'm ready.
All right.
Go back to the Culpru Ruins?
Yeah, you never learned why they were called that.
You never knew what they were called.
Let's just go back to like the third underground castle we've been in. About
You are like, what is this place? We don't know.
Yeah, you've had a lot of that. That's probably part of why I'm sick of this. Is it's like the third underground castle.
Hey, this is probably the first for Dirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Dirk hates it.
and Dirk would rather it be the last. Poor Dirk.
Poor Dirk gone underground a lot more often during this adventure.
Dirk
Alright,
was
so I'm
hoping it was
guessing
the
we're
last. Narrator,
Guessing we're just
it was
back
not the
to-
last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guess
so
we're
you're
back
just back
to
there.
the dead spiders.
So, of notice, dead spiders have been hung from the ceiling and wrapped in, like, spider silk.
Oh man, dude, am I dealing with this?
So when you arrive back, it looks almost as though they've been strung up in a funerary type of pose.
No. Looks like the mother came back for her children.
You may make a perception check.
Psychic?
No.
I should really put some points in this.
You can also hear, coming from down the tunnel, something that sounds like sobbing. Dirk actually wrote it really well, so Dirk can hear. They've killed my children! My children! Oh, it's all right, our beloved. We'll find them. We'll find them. My children!
Be on guard, don't you?
You know what? No, I won't cast that yet. Actually, why did I have that prep? I'm gonna... Oh wait, I didn't see that while prepping, so I'm gonna change that real fast. Now I'm actually ready. Okay.
Okay. And you're not allowed to change anymore, officially, because we need to go.
Gonna cast shield.
Alright.
Dirk will light a torch and start burning the webs in front of him.
Alright, you can move at half speed while you're doing that.
Jeez, that's 10.
You cast light as a torch.
Huh?
And you cast light as a torch.
Okay, so
You
this
can
is all
do
web,
that.
right?
Yes, but Dirk is walking slowly, burning the web away.
Okay.
I can only move 10 feet at a time, so have fun.
Dirk, you may make a perception check.
Oh, back up.
As you're here, you walking and burning, you hear the sobs stop. As a voice goes, I think they're the ones who killed them, our beloved. And then the voice who was sobbing for her children goes, then bring them to me. And you look up to see the source of the voices.
Damn it! Always look up.
Which of course means it's initiative time.
I will draw my sword as part of my initiative check.
So, Dirk, these Eder caps are up at the ceiling.
I'll take a full defensive action and wait for them to come to me.
Well, starting with this fella then. He's gonna scurry along the webs until he gets to here, and then spew webs at you. Does that touch you, Dirk?
Does full defense action increase touch attack, I say?
Yes.
Then no.
So you manage to cut the webs as they come at you through the air. Another, the same idea, and a third with the same.
That will.
So the three of them come scurrying at you, spewing webs towards you. And you slice and you slice and you shear away the webs as they come before one comes through and webs you up. The spider comes aground and goes, Are you the one who slew my children? As it cocks towards you, Dirk, as though it's about to fire webs. Only instead of webs, a long, thin spine comes firing out towards you. Does 24 hit?
Yeah.
All right. So that will be 4 damage.
Yeah.
As this harpoon goes through you, hooks in, and begins to drip out a thick, thick goo.
That was not good.
Does 20 beat your combat maneuver defense?
No.
No?
No. My CMD is 22.
Does that include not having your dex because you're webbed?
Then no, I guess it does beat me. Because my dex is 6.
That... So... Oh my. So you're tied up, it fires in, it exudes this glue, and then immediately yanks you back.
Oh, come on!
So you're
I
now...
just dream fireball, just fireball.
Yeah.
What?
So now you're all webbed up right at the base of this giant, angry spider.
What did you say, Mel?
I said I'm going to suggest if you're going to fireball, just fireball.
I was going to just make much worse, but I guess a fireball is probably the better option, to be honest. You'd probably die with the other one. Or not. Who knows?
Yeah. So, Tonatium, you just saw these people web up Dirk, and then a harpoon came flying out of the spider, pierce him, and yank him back across the room.
Alright, that's weird. Knowledge nature, the spider that harpoons, apparently. Spiders do that.
Not normal spider. Normal spiders do not. That is not a natural spider.
That is not a natural spider. Well, I don't have time for debating this right now. I gotta... Oh, sorry, Dirk. I'm gonna have some fried chicken.
I'm not sure, I'm a bird. I'm a bird, motherfucker. I'm a bird.
Fireball!
Fireball! Alright, I imagine that's going towards everyone.
And I can make the save with them tied up.
So, Ettercaps.
No, gotta be like that, huh? Gotta be like that, dice. Gotta be like that.
That's 3.3s.
And, the harpoon spider.
And I 21. They only take half damage from this fireball, I take full.
I'm so sorry, but also...
Not bad. I'm at 25 HP.
Alright, yeah, so 15 to each of them.
Does that burn my webbing?
It does. You are free.
Yeah, free of these, that's good.
You're free, and I'm ready behind the cover.
So if the Ettercaps hadn't saved, they'd be dead. So that's a nice thing for you to be aware of, I guess.
Yeah. So if I hit them, they're dead. Because I can't do anything less than 17.
30. So that'll be 32. Okay. Yeah, so they all burn. The webbing burns away in this area.
Just a black abyss.
Yeah, I want to do that at the background layer. No, let's do it with this layer. There we go. That's not what I wanted either. Why am I having such a damned hard time with it? There we go. Now it's not a vague black abyss. It's all burned away, and it's Dirk. Now you are prone before this big spider.
I wish I was not prone. Because one of my Ronin deeds gets rid of kip up, so I can't kip up.
What?
Kip up is a swashbuckler thing where it lets you get up as a free action without provoking an active opportunity, but I can't do it because I don't have kip up.
Yep.
Oh.
So if I do get up, I will be taking 2 attacks of opportunity.
Wow. Let's see what happens.
I mean, I'm not tied up, and I have 22 AZ. It's the worst that could happen.
So you're going to stand up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand up.
So Ettercap gets an attack of opportunity.
Jesus Christ, kid.
So does the harpoon spider.
I'm gonna parry.
That's the 23s.
I'm gonna parry that attack of opportunity.
Which one? The 23?
The one that's hitting, yeah.
Okay.
Damn, I didn't beat it. I rolled a 2. It still hits me.
So the Ettercap manages to bite you, sinking its mandibles into your skin for 6 damage and a fort save.
Man, I should really put in notes. Notes. I should buy some antidotes.
Yeah.
And wow, the dice do not like you today.
No, they don't.
Please take 2 dexterity damage.
Jesus Christ, yeah, that's the worst kind of damage for me.
So you're standing up now.
Yeah, that's good. I am standing.
You are standing.
I have to take -1 to my ACs, -1 to my hit, and to my damage. I will strike at Eder Cap 27.
Alrighty. And you will kill Ettercap 27 because your minimum damage is like 17.
That's 16 now.
Well, the Ettercaps can't see Tonatium, and so they will come towards you to bite.
I'm gonna parry.
Alrighty.
One. Roll 1.
Why are you trying to roll a 1?
I'm trying to reverse jinx you.
No, you jinx me still because I rolled a 1 less than I need.
You almost did. For 4 damage, but you're already poisoned by Ettercap poison, so there's not going to be more Ettercap poison.
Can I just point out that if you didn't take that damage, you would have hit?
Yes?
You're going to have some not happiness, I imagine, soon, as the harpoon spider goes to bite Dirk. Hello? Oh, you had to mute for reasons. I'm pretty sure 19 does not hit Dirk, though, so...
No, not even.
Tonatium.
No one's going to get me today.
Are you going to throw another fireball in Dirk's face?
Please don't. I have 15 HP.
You sure you don't want me to?
Well, I'll probably make the save, but it might disable me or kill me. No, not kill me, at least unconscious me.
Alright, fine. Where's that?
You can if you want.
There's my... Thank you.
Unconscious just doesn't matter to me. I'm immortal.
There's my key.
Dirk is probably very happy that he's poisoned by the Ettercaps and not the spider.
Magic Missile 106.
Gonna what at 106?
Magic Missile.
Alrighty then. Still alive.
Well, if you didn't do enough damage to kill it.
Well, I don't think I can. I think that was... No, that wasn't max damage, but... Actually, max damage would have killed it.
Dirk.
I'm going to 5-foot shift back from this giant ass spider in front of me. And I'm going to finish off 106.
Alrighty then.
If I hit.
If you don't roll a 1.
Oh, quit that.
This Ettercap.
Why are these air caps hitting me? I'm going to parry it.
Okay.
There
You are
we go.
going to parry it.
No damage.
No structural damage. The harpoon spider scurries towards you to bite.
I'm going to attempt to parry. Using my last panache point. Damn it.
And as she sinks her teeth in, she kind of mumbles, 11 damage and a fortitude save.
I will resolve this fortitude save. Hopefully, actually succeed.
This is very nasty poison.
I succeed.
So you'll initially take 4 dexterity damage.
Jesus Christ, kid. Stop nerfing my character.
Tonitium.
Remember, kids, prevention is the best medicine to any poison.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I forgot to have Dirk do his save against the Ettercap's poison. Would you do that real quick, Dirk? Okay. So you've also taken another 1 dexterity damage from the Ettercap's poison. Tonitium.
Not dex damage and poison, that's the worst kind.
Don't mind me, I'm just trying to find a safe place to fireball without hitting Dirk.
Sure, you can find one.
Okay. Still need to figure out what they're eating.
20-foot radius.
Okay.
Ettercap. And Harpoon Spider.
Dang it. The harpoon spider saves.
That's bad.
So half of that would be 10. Dirk.
Oh, I'm gonna figure out what my hit is. Because my fucking dex has dropped so far. So -4, and then there's a -1 for being underground. 17 -5 is 12.
And there's the Fortitude save against the Harpoon Spider's poison and the Ettercap's poison.
No.
Is that for the Ettercap or the Harpoon Spider?
Also, the first one's for the Ettercap, the second one's Harpoon.
Okay. So, if I were a mean DM, I would make you re-roll because we didn't say beforehand. So you take 1 dex as opposed to 9.
Oh boy.
That'd be scary.
Yeah. Especially with a character that completely relies on dexterity.
Yeah. The Harpoon Spider poison, as I said, is really nasty.
Yeah, I will attempt to strike the Harpoon Spider.
That will hit.
Cool. And then, I actually don't have any panache at the moment, so I'm actually really low on damage.
That's not great.
1d8 plus 4. I'm really low on dex, and then plus 1d6.
The spider is not looking very good. It comes around and goes, "You've killed my children. You've killed my husbands." And she, actually, instead of biting you, fires into you her 2 fangs separately.
I one of them doesn't hit.
For 4 damage.
I am disabled.
Well, unfortunately, she didn't actually down you, so she can't move on.
Amazing, even if she had given 5 HP, she wouldn't have downed me.
Tonitium. Dirk is not looking good.
Yeah, this does not look good for anyone involved. I was hoping to save this in case we had more people, but actually, who am I kidding? I was saving
Forgot to be doing that when you were. Oh, Dirk, you haven't attacked the spider yet, have you? Did. I need to make a reflex save, Dirk, because you attacked the spider, and the spider is covered with long, long spikes.
Okay.
This could affect how the spider goes.
7. I'll get 7 to my luck save.
So, you also had taken 3 damage from the spikes.
Well, then it looks like I am doing unstoppable.
Okay.
Whenever I'm reduced to fewer than 0 hit points but not slain, it stabilize and remain conscious. Staggered but does not fall unconscious if taking standard actions. I do fall unconscious if I take additional damage.
Okay. So, Dirk is now standing there, bleeding, epic, and the creature goes, "Why don't you die?" Tuntium.
I also thought of a little bit of flavor that happens when I do unstoppable, in that his eyes turn into the dragon eyes. Instead of normal bird eyes.
What sort of foul beast are you? What demon are you to slay my children?
Yeah, you know what? Take a pretty stretch so I can just target the spider, but not Dirk. Black tentacles! Does that beat its combat maneuver defense?
Yes.
Hooray, Shackled!
It is grappled.
Oh yeah, and such.
The spider is grabbed and is now entangled and being flung around this room by black tentacles.
Time to strike. Maybe.
Okay.
Plus 12.
So that will hit, which means you must make a reflex save.
Yes, I do.
You managed to hit it without taking damage.
Right. That's good.
And whatever you do will be more than the 1 hit point remaining.
Okay.
Da 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 da.
I could have just used magic missiles and hoped I rolled high.
And now, Dirk, you are here, exhausted and terrified, alone in this room.
Why is it like that?
Well, you're near death.
Yeah, but negative 3 hit points, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
Literally can just keep going on as I am right now.
Before you do that, though, could you come over here for a second?
Stagger across the room. Oh, Dirk hasn't beaten the poisons yet.
Oh god, more poisons.
So you still need to do the Ettercap poison check, do the Ettercap poison check, and the Harpoon Spider poison check.
Let's see. Darkness, virtue.
Ettercap is good. Oh, Spider is not. You don't have Ettercap poison anymore. You take another 8 dexterity damage.
Jesus Christ, kid.
Yeah, you should have invested in some antidotes. Yeah.
No, roll 14 minus 8. That's 6 dex. I like to remind you guys that I started with 22.
You know what? Scroll of Cure moderate.
Okay.
Mostly because I don't know how to use the wands yet.
So Dirk, you get cured, and you still need to make saves against that spider venom.
Not spider venom, I don't like it anymore.
You are now cured from the spider venom, and you don't take another 2d6 dex damage. You're cured.
I didn't save.
Oh, that was... Oh, never mind.
Sorry, that was my healing.
Yep. I need your
That's
save.
about 13 HP.
I need your save, Dirk.
Yep.
No. Well, then you do take 6 more dex damage.
Won't that put me
At 2.
unconsciousness?
That will put you... No, oh, no, you won't go unconscious. You'll be paralyzed and unable to move.
Yeah, because I'm at 0.
And eventually, the poison will burn away then. So yeah, Tonatium, he comes stumbling over to you. You lay your hands on to heal him as he seizes up and just lays there on the floor of this dark, enclosed cavern, unable to move. Dirk probably is questioning some life choices at this moment.
I really should have used a potion of hiding.
So yeah, we're out of initiative. Dirk is physically unable to move.
Oh dearest, and I don't got anything to help with this. I should really start asking for some scrolls of restoration or something.
Yeah, floating disc.
Yeah, that works. But first, what the heck did we just fight? Knowledge dungeoneering.
Spiders.
It was a harpoon spider. It's a sort of aberrant spider from before time, sometimes called a spider mother. They can birth hundreds and hundreds of spiders of all shapes and sizes over their lives. Their bodies are coated with a virulent poison known to paralyze people for life from a single prick. And in addition to being able to weave that poison into webs, instead of having a traditional spider spinner, they have a sack full of this sort of crystalline goo that they can use to fire off harpoons, which adhere to people and pull them close so that they may feed.
Yikes.
Yeah. So you don't learn anything that you didn't learn already through observing it.
Yeah, these are the mechanical breakers now paralyzed.
For life, oh no!
Well, no, most commoners would have a very hard time succeeding the DC for that particular saving throw.
You can like me, with my 2 fort save.
Yeah.
Because apparently swashbucklers don't get fort or will saves.
But you're a hero, so eventually I assume you're going to roll better than 16.
I can, it's possible.
Yeah. Well, mostly thing. Do I risk a person? Go deeper in the caves? Yeah, you know what? Come on, Dirk. We'll get you up. Loading disc.
Now, floating on a disc, unable to move.
Don't worry. I may not have a torch, but I do have spark.
Yeah, you can burn the webs away. No problem.
So I guess in the whole black area was in like its paralyzing poison area.
I don't have a torch, but I do have spark. Meanwhile, Dirk's going to carry 4 torches.
Yeah, Tonatium, you can pull Dirk into the next part of the cavern, no problem. I did it for you.
Okay. Detect magic.
Ouchie ouch. Magic over here.
I'm going to put him behind me.
So
now that I got that 10-foot pull out, and start inching closer.
So on the wall there is actually painted a sort of symbol.
What kind of symbol?
It's a stylized hand with 5 long fingers and an eye in the middle of it.
Alright, then knowledge religion to see if it's religious significance.
That. Put it into the chat so you can look at it. It's the unholy symbol of Vecna, god of secrets.
Hey.
Yes, Mal, it's the same Vecna that's in Critical Role. I know you're watching. Have you not gotten it? Okay, never mind. Ignore spoilers.
It would be nice if I had mage hand.
Yeah, that's over in this corner here where the magic is coming from. I assumed you walked over there when I told you that you could see that.
Guess so. Okay, so I see a magic hand.
Yeah.
The magic was overwhelming, right?
Yes, there was an overwhelming sense of magic when you tried to look for it.
Do I see a control rod in the room area?
You see a pile of treasure.
Derek sees the ceiling.
Specifically, it's piles of coins. There's a harp. There's a ring and a little jade idol of... Let me describe for you what this is. It's a jade picture of a woman who's kind of short and stocky, holding a cornucopia, which is like a big horn-shaped thing overflowing with grain and fruit. And then there's a shield, a couple of bracers, a potion, and a rod. Kind of all of it's piled inside of the shield. So you have this shield, and you have coins and treasure piled on top of it.
I feel like... I don't know. I feel reluctant for some reason. It has occurred to me that I no longer have Turbo as a shield for chat.
You would have Derek, but I'm at 0 decks.
I guess I'm gonna have to rely on my own pairs of eyes.
There are no traps that you can see.
I know I can't warn him, but can I make a check?
Sure.
Basis, I'll get a 12.
And I'll give you a -4 because you can't really move your head to look around.
So it's non-dog, it's an 8.
Dirk can't see any traps either.
But I can tell you.
Oh yeah, should really work on updating Grill's character sheet. That's what I keep forgetting.
So, what are you gonna do?
Well, I set my tempered pole so I can still poke things at a distance.
So you poke some coins, and they get shifted around and kind of jumbled together.
Why do I not have... Goddamn...
You very nearly destroy what looks to be a poison when you're jabbing around. A potion.
Oh. Alright. Well, we just need the rod.
You can get the rod.
So yeah. Over here. Grab the rod.
Okay.
Did anything happen?
Nothing happened.
Oh, there's any traps here.
There's a shield. There's a pile of coins on it. There's a harp and a statue and a potion and a pair of bracers all piled on there. And the rod was on top, and you walked over and you knocked everything. You scattered coins across the room. The shield goes skidding. You pick up the rod.
Okay, fine. Well, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna detect magic the shield.
Are you gonna take that rod and put it somewhere where it's not gonna distract you first?
Yeah, that I was about to say after I put the rod in the pack.
Okay.
Penny pack.
The shield, the potion, and the bracers are magic.
Okay, shield, potion, bracers. Okay. Where is spellcraft is 60. Shield.
That's a +1 light steel shield.
Potion.
That's a potion of restoration.
You know, restoration heals poison, right?
Yes.
Give it to Dirk.
Dirk, all of your dexterity damage has been cured.
Jesus Christ, I love dexterity damage being cured.
It cures all temporary ability damage.
Yay! I jump immediately back up at 22 days.
And the bracers are bracers of armor +2.
I guess I'll put that in the tree when I get home. There's the restoration thing to think of now, I guess. What's left out of the coins? Oh, wait, there was a harp.
There's a harp. It is non-magical. There's a diamond ring with a very large diamond on it that is non-magical. And there is a jade statue of a short, stocky woman holding a cornucopia, which is non-magical.
Dwarven woman?
Halfling.
Halfling woman, okay. Cornucopia.
Yes.
It's been a while since I praised stuff. Where is it? Yeah, plus. Harp.
That harp is a harp made of fine dark wood and silver, worth 800 GP.
Diamond ring.
So as you're looking at the diamond ring, the ring itself is made out of really cheap copper that's kind of been painted silver. But the diamond itself is worth 5,000 gold.
Ooh.
We're talking one of those big, gaudy, flawless diamonds, almost with a rainbow in the middle.
5,000 GP, right?
Yes.
How much does a diamond have to be worth for resurrections? I forgot.
About that.
About that? Hey, I can Well, I think a Turban's body is still intact. I could probably resurrect him.
Okay, you go to no.
That's alright. I left his body here. I don't know what happened to it. Probably look for it when we're done here.
Yep.
Jade statue.
It's worth 700 GP, you think. But the woman looks familiar. It might be worth more if you can figure out who she is.
Maybe someone, maybe it's a woman of historical significance?
So you recognize her, but you're not, like, you're looking at us, you're going, I don't recognize this woman from any historical documents. Although, as you're thinking through, you can think of several halfling houses that have had a cornucopia on their shields.
Perhaps it's a religion thing.
Maybe a knowledge level might help.
So, knowledge religion, you kind of go, Durr, this is Yandala, the goddess of halflings.
Yandala.
And so you think that this statue may be worth 1,000 gold if you sell it to a halfling. Assuming, of course, the halfling is devout to their racial deity.
As bad as Tony doing the dark stretching in the corner, going, I hate spiders.
In this dark, cramped corner.
I hate vampires.
Everything that sucks things.
And then there's 500 silver and 450 gold, just in coinage.
We have a shit ton of money.
You do have quite a bit of money. You have a rather large treasury.
Well, let's take a peek at the other corners.
There's nothing on the other corners.
Okay.
You have officially concluded the ruins. That was
alright, got a diamond that's probably worth a resurrection.
Yep.
I'm gonna go pick up Turbo.
You can find Turvu's body.
And let's go back to the surface.
Yay, surface.
Yay!
Pressure!
Back to Cauldron.
The second Dirk gets out from underground, he starts flying a decent height in the air, stretching his wings because you're just paralyzed underground.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that might have not been good for his mental health, wouldn't it?
No. And so you come up with a bunch of treasure and another dead body on a floating disc.
We're just really good at carrying dead bodies on floating decks.
And you're outside of town. As you start coming in, and there's guards outside. Half-orc guards. At the gate. And there's a new notice that's been hung up. Let's see if I can pull this up here for you.
Wait, and you notice as in a different notice from the last time I brought a dead body over?
It should be here.
Really good at getting dead bodies.
Where are you?
I'm assuming we covered Turbo up.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this thing resolved and it's not working nicely. They moved it. Where did it move to? There you are. Okay. So, there is a new tax notice. Hanging. Okay. Yes, I know. I didn't have curb. Shush. So.
And out.
There's a new long tax notice. What about seasonal taxes? What are they? Oh, various. Indeed, They're probably the backbone of our taxation system. They yield the greatest revenue and the most regular. In spring, each hearth is taxed, from the meanest cottager's hovel to the greatest lord's castle. Then in summer, the land tax is due. Each acre assessed. And at that time, we collect nobility taxes. Yes, indeed. 5 gold for the privilege of displaying a crest or coat of arms. A trifle, but it adds up and funds our great city. In autumn, the temples and shrines collect the tithe. It is sad that it's so steep, but none goes to the coffers. The churches collect the tithe, and we collect the income tax. But here in winter, we must take the magical item tax, the pole tax, and the sword tax. Yes, indeed. So you find, as you're coming here to enter, that the guard is saying that they are going to have to take account of the pole and magic and sword taxes.
Give me a minute.
Pole, magic, and sword taxes.
Yes, this is for coming into the town at this time.
You can come inside, Lobo, but you better behave yourself.
Are they taxes more for each magical item we're carrying?
Well, first, each of you is going to have to pay 2 copper poll tax.
Pole tax.
Yes.
Okay. They have to take an account.
Yes. Now, you have to pay your sword tax. Any edged weapons that you have, which are 9 or more inches long.
So if you won.
Let's see. Edged weapons.
That you're carrying. They're not going to be aware of anything that you're not carrying.
So that'd be my dueling sword.
Do both count?
No.
No?
9 or more inches long edged weapon.
Only my dueling sword.
Let's see. I have stake, a cold iron dagger.
Okay, only my dueling sword is going to matter for this.
Oh.
Because Jeffrey carries nothing but throwing weapons.
So, you'll have to pay 17 copper for the sword tax on your dueling sword.
That's 19 copper for me so far.
And then they're going to insist on looking through all of your magic items. And this half-orc has a pair of goggles. And as he puts the goggles on, the half-orc does not flinch because you have that away in your haversack.
Yeah.
But they count through the magic items that are sitting on your floating disc. And what is on your floating disc?
Let's actually check what Teru has. Because Teru's items are on that disc.
Specifically, any weapons.
Let's see. We have the shield of light steel +1, the braces of armor 2, and those are. That's currently being carried by the disc.
So those are each going to have 2. So each of those is going to be 1 gold. So
Teru has he has his headband of a learned charisma.
that's going to be 20 gold.
And what's we 40 gold because Dirk has one too.
Oh, should I take account of items that's like on my person as well?
Yeah, they're gonna be charging you magic item tax on your way into town for every magic item they can see.
I have my wand of floating disc, my wand of magic missiles, my amulet of natural armor 1.
So your wands are how many wands do you have?
1, 2, 1, 2. What can I choose? 3, 4, 5.
Okay. And then there's an amulet there.
An amulet.
Okay.
Cloak.
Actually, wait. Those wondrous items are less, so it's actually so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I was reading the wrong thing there. Okay, so I've got cloak and everything else.
You got cloak. You got amulet. You got the slippers.
Nope. Now I do.
Goggles and winged sea.
Got those.
Let's see. Let's take my stuff now. I have my sword, so I have to double tax that shit.
Oh, I found my wand of inflict moderate runes.
Okay. So that's going to be there.
Potions are going to count, aren't they?
They are. How many do you have?
1, 2, 3.
I have 6 on me.
Let's do Antonio first so I don't lose track.
Oil. Is oil a darkness a magic item?
Yes.
I'll count that as potion 5.
These orcs are obviously getting really excited about the number of magic items you have.
Now we're going to get more excited because of the magic items I have.
Organized is better. Yeah, 12.
Okay. So your potions are 1 copper each.
Scrolls. Time for scrolls.
Yes, those are 1 silver each.
Let's see. Potion. 1, 2, 3. Well, I used that 1 scroll from earlier, so that's... Five. Yeah, 5 scrolls.
Okay. That is accounted for.
Have my spellbook and Skaber's spellbook.
Okay. Those are counted as magic items.
What about the component pouches?
Those are not.
Those are duplicates. How about Thunderstone?
No, that's not a magic.
Okay. Tucson rods.
Not magic. I think we're good.
Okay, we're good.
At this point, we're stuff that's inside your like haversack, and they're not gonna be noticing that.
Okay.
Now on my side,
Yes.
I have my dueling sword.
Okay. That is a weapon.
Bye.
I have my +1 silk bodysuit.
Okay.
I have a belt of physical might.
Okay.
I have a headband of alluring charisma. Except we already got that.
Yep.
I have an immovable rod.
Okay.
6 potions.
Okay.
And a sleeves of mini garment.
Okay. So we have your magic item tax calculated.
We're getting taxed up the ass.
You can hear people complaining about the new taxes, but no one's really too terribly upset. And then you come in with all these magic items and like, holy shit! I'm glad I'm not an adventurer. And then they go, takes so long for them to be calculated. They're holding up the line. But yeah, you're expected to pay 3 gold, 133 silver, and 18 copper for your magic item tax.
3 gold, so 3, so 7 silver pieces. Okay, I'm gonna have to improvise because apparently I don't. You have 3 silver on you.
I have 21 gold on me.
Okay, so I'm just gonna have to silver out. I'll simplify it first. I'm gonna have to just use 30 copper to compensate for that.
Okay. It added up, it'll be... That's what it would be simplified. So really, it's a pittance, right? You have more than enough money to pay it. It's just irritating to have sit there and wait for them to calculate everything.
Yeah.
$16 more silver.
And as they finish up, they give you a receipt and say, "Here you are. Keep this on you. If they try to tax you, if anyone tries to tax you again, show it.
All right.
Go on your way." Tonatium, and only Tonatium, may make a perception check.
Oh dear.
You remember those half-orc mercenaries that were getting smuggled into the town through Drakthar's Way?
Mm-hmm.
And how they had kind of the symbol of their band?
Yeah.
So these guys all are wearing armor with the symbol of Cauldron on it. But you can actually see, like on the belt of the guard, the symbol of that same mercenary band.
Drag. I'm gonna put this in my notes. Draxar?
A strong sword and full money bag maketh the kingdom to prosper.
Organized town guard. Okay.
And, of course, the tax notice that's displayed is signed Lord Valantru, Chancellor of the Exchequer, representing Lord Mayor Severin Navalant of Cauldron. So you...
Oh, man. Sure does tax a lot.
Well, first things first, I gotta turn that rod back to the Church of St. Cuthbert.
Yes. So as you bring the rod there, and you can see, so again, it is still raining heavily, and there's people down at the central lake holding the rod, holding the waters back, stress and frustration on their faces, as they're not quite well balanced. And you're actually told that Jenya's down there. And as you get down to the lake, she just looks at you and goes, "Do you have the rod?"
Well, I'll nod.
She says, "Good, grab it.
Well, guess I'll take it out.
She says, "Good, stand here."
Okay.
And as you do, she starts hurrying around the edge of the lake, adjusting other people. And you see the rod beginning to glow as the water gets pushed back. Does Tonatium react or go with the flow?
I'm gonna be stuck here for a while, aren't I?
Yes. In fact, it takes about 7 hours for this ritual that she's roped you into to get done working.
Oh dear. Dirk, could you let the Church of St. Cuthbert know that I'm, here with the last rod?
The head of the Church of St. Cuthbert is the one who said, "Great, you're here, wonderful, stand here."
Oh, okay.
So they know.
They know.
Jenya, who's in charge, just roped you into the ritual.
Hey, Dirk, while I'm stuck here, do you mind just grabbing this wand of the magic missile? The disc should be, I think the disc should follow you.
The disc can't go away from you, Tonatium.
Oh, okay. Just, help set down treasure, I guess.
Yeah.
And, hold on. Guess I'm stuck here.
So so as you stand there, this is not just like I'm standing here holding a stick. Lightning starts shooting between the sticks. There's magical energy flowing through. There's chanting, and Tonatium, being a good wizard, knows when to get involved in all of that. And then finally, by the end of everything, you feel the rod itself pull from your hand as the rod then digs itself into the soil, and a sort of shimmering field closes over Crater Lake. The water can go in, but it can't flow out. And Genya walks over towards you and says, "Thank you so much. I was worried. You brought us all of them, and I handed them out, and I realized we're short a person. And we tried to get Calmus Vel to come down and help, but Calmus wasn't willing for some reason to come down and help. Thank you for putting up with the time."
Thank you.
I think
Wish we could have got this done sooner, but
it only took you 3 days. So that's not too shabby to get that done, to recover these in 3 days.
yeah. I wonder what if it would have been bad if I took longer.
There would have been consequences. But as it is, only one person drowned. And
I'd prefer there was no casualties, but one person, all things considered, is a lot less worrying than I thought it would be.
Yep. So, Dirk, did you do anything with the rotting body of Turvu during this 7-hour ritual?
Probably moved out of the lane.
Okay, so you just kind of pulled all of the treasure out to the side. But, so, yeah, no one really noticed. But now that things are getting done,
Oh yeah, that's right, Turbo.
Genya is going to go, "Oh no, Turvu," and see Turvu lying there, dead.
Yeah, we had some incidents with some worms.
I'm not strong enough to cast these sorts of spells. The only person in town who is Calmus. That self-serving troublemaker. And his boss, but his boss has been out of town recently working on some sort of great ritual to their goddess.
Yes, correct?
Correct. Ouijas, goddess of death.
Yeah, I was thinking of bringing him over there and seeing what could be done.
Here, I owe you a bit for your work. She says, let me help you get him over there. And she grabs an acolyte and whispers something, and the acolyte goes, "At the Temple of Ouijas?" And she goes, "Yes." And he goes, "All right," and hurries off. And she, picks up Turvu's remains, properly shrouded, and carries Turvu for you over towards the temple.
Yes.
It takes you a little while to weave your way up, and the acolyte she sent is waiting there, holding a little wooden chest. Maybe the size of, I don't know if you know those electric clippers, the cases the electric clippers come in.
Like electric razor, right here, or trimming my.
Yeah, and so the black carry case that those come in.
No, because mine didn't really come with a carrying case.
Oh. Well, it's about maybe 8 inches in one direction, 4 inches in the other, 3 inches deep, sort of thing. That's the size of this. That's the size of this little box. And he goes, "Here it is, ma'am." And she says, "Thank you. Give it to Tonatium. He's the one who did the work." And it's a, you now have a wooden case with a latch on the front.
Guess I'll undo the latch and try to open it.
It is full of gold. It's got a velvet interior with 5 grooves, with several grooves in it, and each of those grooves is full of gold pieces. And then, you can see that they're stacked on top of each other. 3 deep.
Guess I'll count this later. Or should I count now?
Double drink, Jenny. Are you sure it's right to give us all this?
Jenya just looks at you and says, "You literally saved the town from flooding." That should hopefully cover any of the costs.
Yeah, I'll count it real fast.
It's pretty easy to count. You see that each of the grooves has around 330 to 335 gold in it. There's 3 levels, 5 grooves per level, and you calculate pretty quickly that it's 5,000 gold.
Okay. Alright. Temple of Regis we go.
Yay.
Yeah.
So as you all walk in, Jenya with you, there's kind of a hush that goes over. And Calmus comes out and says, "Jenya, darling, the rains are not that bad. Your acolytes can hold the water back. We have had many deaths lately, and I am busy doing my responsibilities. I cannot spend a day ankle deep in the fetid waters of the lake." And Jenya goes, "You won't have to. Tonatium did it for you." And Calmus just kind of takes his long, creepy, red-gloved fingers and does a little bow. "Wonderful. Your service to the city is greatly appreciated." "Oh dear, has your... I don't recognize... There's the big bird. We saw you yesterday. You don't need more treatment, do you?"
No, I'm fine.
"Oh, is that our horned friend? Oh dear,
Yes.
He's perished. Do you wish us to prepare a funeral?"
I was hoping for a resurrection, I say as I bring out that diamond.
He reaches out and plucks the diamond. And for the first time ever, you see his face as he pulls up his mask. His face is gaunt and sickly. His eyes are sunken and red. And his teeth are kind of craggly and ill-maintained. And he just takes a look at the diamond on the ring, plucks the ring out and tosses it aside. "Resurrection is difficult," he says. "The diamond must be flawless, and we do not carry them. Our goddess frowns upon it. But yet... yes, I think we can."
My doggy's barking.
"Yes," he says, "I think this is sufficient." As the GM takes this moment, look up. Ooh, it requires 10,000 gold diamond for resurrection. 5,000 is raised dead. Okay. He looks up and says, "Yes, well, There is the matter of cost. I am able to do this.
I am back. What I miss?
He said, yes, this should do it. But there is the matter of cost.
I'm not as broke as I was last time.
I see. Well,
How much?
for a spell of this cost and value, I'll need 500 gold pieces and the diamond shall be consumed in the casting.
Done. I say as I open the purse and hand him 500.
Come. Mao, do you wish to attempt to have Turvu back?
Is that even possible if Turvu's already alive again?
Because of special circumstances, if you want to, I will permit you to have an opportunity. It's not going to be guaranteed.
I guess.
So you take Turvu's remains back there and you begin casting the spell, and it's a long ritual. Kalmus doesn't make a habit of preparing his high-level spells, so it's a long, drawn-out ritual to cast this. And as it comes to its conclusion, and the crystal dissolves into Turvu's face, Turvu, frozen and locked within this statue, feels a tugging at his soul. Does Turvu accept it?
Would Turvu accept? Something I honestly don't know. Turvu would accept a tugging by his soul.
Yeah, Turvu's unable to move, unable to do anything, and feels his soul being tugged elsewhere.
After basically like a whole day of being stuck there.
I guess he wouldn't let it.
He would?
I think he would. When he doesn't move, he'd probably want to do something.
So, Turvu feels his soul plucked out and pulled through a world with crimson skies and bloody soil. He's pulled down into the soil itself, rended through infinite plains of blood and terror. I need Turvu to make a will save. Success is good. If not, we're going to roll on a table I'm going to look up.
Look up. Now you bring up Turvu's cheat sheet again. Is this madness, insanity, or sleep?
No.
Right, it's just in my normal will save. 5.
Okay. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to find this book. It's not a Pathfinder book. The Trove, you're lying to me, making me take longer. This is a 3rd edition book. It is, I guess, core. I'm not sure. I think that is the correct book. Alrighty then. I would like you to please roll 1d100. as you have a mishap. Alrighty then. So, Turvu, your eyes open as you find yourself awakening on this table. You won't take any additional negative levels because you already took them for the clone. As Turvu comes back to life on this cold table, able to see again. But the last thing that Turvu sees before coming back to life, as he feels his soul almost getting grabbed by the abyss and trapped there, is the face of a woman who brushes it away and says, "I don't approve, but I'll be damned if I let a servant of mine look like a fool." And the woman you see, let's see if I can find an image of the woman that you see. There's the woman you see.
Is that Weedos?
Yes. You quite literally, the whole thing almost ended in your soul being consumed by the abyss. And it was the direct intervention of the goddess of death herself that permitted you to be reincarnated. Or resurrected, not reincarnated. And Turvu is aware of this.
What's wrong, Xander? Oh, I think he needs to go potty. I'll be back.
So yeah, Turvu's alive! Yay!
Yay.
What is Turvu's first reaction to coming back to life?
We're gonna sit up and rub his eyes. Going, ugh, the fuck just happened?
And Calmus, back in his creepy mask, says, "You were dead, and now you are not. Rejoice, child. For my goddess has seen fit to permit your return."
We're like half listening to him, like holding his hand to his chin, thinking that the whole is just a dream then?
What's going on?
Well, I woke up before this, I think. Unless it was just a dream. I woke up, there was a whole bunch of other... older.
That is odd. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna... sorry, I have to, give me a few minutes. I need to set up in the other room because my dog's being a butt munch.
This is a great opportunity to go to the restroom and grab any snacks that you may need to grab. And for Mal to decide who, if anyone, he's going to continue with pushing forward.
Probably Dirk.
Probably Dirk? You like Dirk more than Tonitium?
It's not that I like Dirk more than Turbo. It's just... yeah. At this point, who is ready and able fighting would be Dirk.
Yeah.
Plus, having Turbo back means you still have connections to the story and the dreams and all that jam.
Yes. So if you're pulling... yeah, so that's a voice in favor of Turvu, right? Because then all the dreams and everything.
Huh?
Yeah, if Turvu's here, I get to give you dreams again.
Yes. But does me playing as Dirk prevent me from looking at Turbo from having the dreams?
It doesn't.
I mean,
it just means that Turvu's an NPC.
Huh.
So
yeah, Trevor could just keep guard of the hideout instead of going on adventures if he feels like he's not up for it anymore.
yeah, it just means that I won't be telling you the dreams. Turvu's just gonna get them.
Gotcha.
essentially, one of them will become a backup character NPC, and the other one will be your player character.
I think I have to do the traumatization that Trevor might not be ready for.
Alrighty then. I took a
He
moment.
died, got resurrected, or got become into a body of a clone, basically murdered again.
Yeah.
Soul ripped from body.
So the actual entry I rolled on the table said, "Character discovers a renewed interest in religion."
Okay. I have renewed interest in our
Yeah, so NPC Turvu is probably going to be doing a little bit of worship of Ouijas.
We just not over the Mara.
That's a very good question. How devout was Turvu before? Was Turvu devout, or was Turvu just like, yeah, I'm a thief, I'll offer prayers to the god of thieves?
I think he's not the most devout, but kind of devout.
Because, yeah, I mean, Turvu did just get plucked from the abyss by the goddess of death herself.
Yeah.
It'll be a thing worth thinking about. But yeah. So we're gonna keep Dirk, and Turvu's just gonna go take care of the tomb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That means we need to get another bed, because Dirk was sleeping on Turvu's bed.
Yes. But I imagine Dirk is going to want to set up in that nice open area.
Yeah.
Easy resolution. There we go.
Poor Birdman. Poor man bird.
Poor man bird. What did I miss?
Huh? No. I was a nice open bedroom for man bird.
Yep. Turvu's going to come back to life. Turvu's going to take care of the Tomb of the Forgotten Exiles. And, yeah. So, what do y'all wish to do as we enter into a bit of downtime as we finish up Chapter 3, Flood Season, and enter Chapter 4?
Dark's gonna look at kind of damn. Hey, you want to clear out this hallway?
Two? We're at two?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which hallway?
This one. Here.
Not right now. I gotta work on something. Got some projects I've been meaning to do for a while.
Alright then, that'll be a good idea to get it finished.
I think I'm gonna take this time to add Skaber's spellbook to mine.
Okay. You know how much that costs.
Actually, I forgot, but I will look it up.
How much money do we have left over?
How much do you have left over?
Internally, I've been spending some of the money on the taxes and resurrection and all that junk.
This is all coming out from my personal purse. I hope you know that.
What about treasure? Have we split that yet?
No, we have not split any of the treasure yet. And my dog won't stop barking. I gotta check this out.
Oof, boof, boof, boof. There we go. I want that.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Spell copied from another spellbook scroll. Let's see. Spend an hour studying the spell. At the end of the hour, must make a spellcraft check. So 15 plus spell level, DC 15 plus spell level. If it's a part of like specialty scoop, cool, it's a +2 bonus. Oh, here you go. The spell cost for each thing. Alright. Let's see. I already know Burning Hands. I already know Chill. Do I have comprehend languages? No, I do. Comprehend languages. True Strike. Those are level 1s. My spellcraft check is 16, so I cannot fail this.
Let's share the new Chapter 4 image with everyone who can't see it right now, which is the players.
And it costs 10 GP each free. Okay.
That is a fish. Shackled 34, Zenith Trajectory.
Hello, random people watching, if anyone. You should be able to use the chat because I've turned off all those restrictions.
So yeah, I now have comprehend languages.
Okay, I'm gonna close down the chat because I don't care.
And True Strike.
Anyone watching can talk to each other. Okay.
Okay, second level. What do I have?
So
Okay.
while Antonio's doing that, is Dirk going to want to do anything to make Drakthar's way more his own? The flopping sound has ceased.
Flopping sound is
Ceased.
no. See, what would Dirk like? Personify the Dirk. Maybe a training room.
Okay. Where does Dirk want to claim this training room? Maybe down in the cavern so he's not all claustrophobic?
Yeah.
Alright, I might have to take some gold from the treasure, but I'll keep note of that, so when we split the treasure, I'll take my count of the half I already took.
Yeah. You probably spell the tree before you do the count.
Alright, let me just write down the spells that needs learning so I can just quick reference instead of reading this through a bad spell page thing.
There we go. Do you want anything besides a training dummy in your training room?
Just the dummy.
Okay. So you have a very simple little training room, just the dummy in the cave.
He only uses one weapon. He's not like anything like a weapon rack or anything.
I already tore out lightning bolt, so I can't learn that from the book.
What?
I already used lightning bolt as a scroll from the book, so I can't do that.
We're going to go ahead and give you a weapon rack anyway.
For all my different kinds of doings.
It gives a place for you to put weapons along the way.
Okay, 4th level.
And an empty armor rack. Now Dirk is all at home. I imagine, does Dirk want light too?
Yeah. Dark is not that bright. Light is good.
How's the chandelier sound?
Oh wow, that is a lot.
There we go.
Hey, little chandelier.
40 each, 90 each.
I imagine Dirk's gonna put lamps up everywhere so you can see things.
Wow, 160 GP each.
We haven't really done that, but sure. What sort of lamp does Dirk want to put in the hallways? Just regular torch lamps?
That's why Tonatina's been out down here without lamps.
I kind of imagine they had lamps, but they hadn't worried too much about it outside of the common room, because why would they?
Yeah. So everyone can see in the dark.
Yeah. I imagine Tonatium was like, I can see what's going on. I don't need a lamp.
Punk, fuck the light.
Fuck light, punk.
Dorcas.
Go to TM.
There we go.
Okay, let's see. A lot of this. Oh man, I am definitely gonna. Wait, I could just go to the treasury and start sorting things out there.
Brilliant. There you go. You have lamps everywhere now.
Yeah, light.
Well, not everywhere, but in the common areas.
Let's see.
It's less claustrophobic now.
Yeah. Gym rooming.
To be honest, I don't think any of us can use the braces of armor since I already have the mithril shirt, so
Yeah.
You can sell them, maybe.
What do you think?
I can't go.
So yeah, I think I'll sell this then. 3 braces of armor +1.
So we'll actually have to go through selling them in a bit, but for now I can just tell you what they're worth, so we can.
Yeah, just tell me what they're worth, and it'll help me like organize them faster.
So braces of armor +1 or +2?
+1.
Because there was a braces of armor +2 that you found just now.
I did? You did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the treasure pile with the spider.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have it written. I have that written down. So, but we also found a braces of armor +1 up from Scaber.
Yes. So there's the pricing I put into the map tool chat.
Okay, shall be 5,000.
Yep. That's what they're worth. So realistically, you can expect to get 2,500 when you go to sell them. Unless you want to haggle particularly hard.
Let's see. I'm gonna sell the one of mage armor since, again, it doesn't stack with it.
Okay. So that would be. Do you know how many charges it has?
37.
Okay. So the basic cost is that. So it's worth that. So you can get it. You can, if you don't want to haggle, you can sell it for 277 gold. And 5 silver.
Let's see, we have the 600 GP ruby and a 100 and a 6 GP ruby.
I'll be right.
You have lots of rubies. Are you going to sell them?
I think I'll sell them.
Okay. How much value?
One ruby is 600 GP, the other ruby is 100 GP, and the last one is 6 GP.
Okay. After taking a fee for conversion, you can get 635 gold and 4 silver for all those rubies.
Alright. Let's see. You know what? I'll just put the silver flail on the weapons rack.
Whatever happened to your shop? That's upstairs still, right? Or did you did you just say, yeah, we sell the shop, we aren't selling things anymore?
I was thinking like one. And I was thinking like maybe we could like be selling these things through the shop. I don't know.
If you want to sell things through the shop, you'll need to hire people to work it.
Yeah, I guess technically we've been closed for a while, huh?
Yeah.
You know, I'll put the silver flail on the weapons rack.
Okay.
Because I think we can have a use for it later, but not right now.
Yeah. So you have a silver flail in case of need. Let's see if I can find a silver flail in Dungeony that works there.
I'm gonna ask Derek if he wants the plate armor.
Okay.
So I'll also put that on the weapons rack.
Do you want to put that in the armor rack?
Yeah, let's put that on the armor rack.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm holding on to those scrolls. March on and off of ever-burning torch of evil!
Which one is that?
It's an ever-burning torch of evil!
That's the green one, right?
I think so. Not sure if I'm going to sell that, actually. I think I'll keep that in the treasury then.
Let me... find... I had art for it, and it's gone. No! Where are you going to put it? Are you going to put it in your magic room?
Yeah, let's put it in the magic room.
Okay. There we go.
I think Mel had... I think Mel's the one with the... No, wait. I told the team technically has it right now, so... But I think I would have given the goggles of deactivate device back to Turbo.
Okay. Turbo's got those goggles.
Let's see. We have a pouch of TGP, TPP, and the silver key. We no longer need the silver key. But I think it'll look nicely in the back.
It'll look nicely where?
In the treasury somewhere.
It's just gonna be like, oh, this will look nice thrown into our pile of gold.
I'll hang it up somewhere, I don't know. Silver key, I'll make a note that it was for the, what's it called again? Corpu Ruins, okay.
Okay, so you're just gonna hang that up, like, in the dining hall?
Yeah.
Okay. The silver key for the Corpu runes. Turbo was like, that's just gonna look nice if we hang it right here. So.
Okay, I'll put the pouch of money here. Does Turbo want the goggles to deactivate device back?
The goggles might have seen.
Yeah. Or would Dirk take it?
Turbo will hand him back and say, "There's probably many more use of you during your adventures."
Alright, I'm taking this off of my character sheet then.
He's giving it to you, Tonatium.
Oh, okay. Then I'll keep the goggles then.
He doesn't know Dirk is the one who's going to use them.
And I'll pass it to Dirk.
Dirk, the Birdman, will put on goggles.
Okay.
I'm keeping that off my Medal of the City, Headman of Wearing Charisma. I think that we gave that to Turbo. Don't know if Turbo still wants to keep it.
Yeah, you keep the headband.
Oh yeah, the chest from the rock. Oh yeah, Turbo, you might want to find the rest of your group with this letter of termination.
Yeah, Turbo. It turns out there was a letter that they were going to frickin' murder all those people that you had to kill because they were too loyal.
Some loyalty. Oh yeah, the rock chest. You know what? I'll just put that up later.
Just got so much crap.
We have a lot of shit.
Alright, now we're at the spider treasure. Plus, you have a +1 like steel. Does anyone want that?
Nope, Dirk's not going to use shields.
I don't know if that's gonna go to sell pile. Does Turbo want a harp?
Turbo sings and dances, he's not by the harp.
Not play the harp. Okay, fine. I'll keep that in the treasury then. That makes for a nice gift for someone someday. We already Well, we used up the diamond, and the cleric threw away the ring.
You can get 655 gold for the +1 light shield.
Alright.
Assuming you're not going to haggle. But it seems at this point, Tonatium's just like, yeah, sure, that sounds fine.
Numbers.
Yeah, I was a merchant who liked haggling, but at this point I've got so much goddamned money.
Nah. If he was a true noble, he'd still be trying to calculate how he can make more money out of this. You okay?
Yep.
The jade statue, I guess I'll sell that to someone.
Are you just going to sell it to some rando?
I'm gonna see if I can find a devout halfling.
Are you going to sell it to the same normal lady you've been selling all your magic items to so far?
Yeah, I'm sure she can find something.
She's a halfling.
Yeah, she's a halfling.
So would I get 10,000 for it?
The 10,000? Fuck no.
I mean, not 10,000, 1,000.
It's worth 1,000. She's a merchant. She's willing to buy it off of you for 500. Or if you want her to negotiate a buyer, she's willing to negotiate a buyer for a 20% fee.
You know, I'll just have her buy it off of it.
Okay.
Again, so much stuff I don't want to deal with it right now. So that's 500 GP. 500 Just the... I'm keeping the pearl power. Oh yeah, the black box. Can we split that in threes? Can we even split that in threes?
The what?
The black box full of gold. The reward for this quest.
Yes, you have a black box with 5,000 gold inside of it. Do you want to split it in half, or do you want to store it in a corner in your treasury and tap into it when you need be?
You know what? Let's store it in the treasury then.
So much money.
So much money. Is this what it feels like to get paid for being an adventure regularly?
Yeah.
Okay.
So much money, and I'll remind you, you purposefully put it behind a secret door. That's a secret door.
Okay, I gotta make it up 500 GP put behind secret door.
Remember, this door over here, you guys specifically boarded up and made secret. So this whole back tunnel that leads to your storeroom and your treasure is behind a pair of secret doors. But anyone who gets into the big cavern can scale the wall into the treasury.
We should probably build a wall for that too, or something.
Incidentally, it'll be 20 gold for all of this stuff to set up Dirk's little side room and bedroom.
Like 21 gold, I mean. One person.
Oh yeah, the penny pack of home. Let's see what's in there. We have the silverware worth 10,000 silver. Not 10,000, 1,000. I keep going back 10.
I don't know, but you're not going to get away with it. So you have 1,000 silvers worth of silverware.
Yes.
Are you going to sell it, or are you going to put it in your place so you can eat with fancy silver?
Why you do this to me, kid? Of course I'm going to do that.
I just want to emphasize how wonderful working for Lord Philantru has been working out for Tonatium.
Oh yeah, he gave the rods back, so I don't need to keep count to those anymore.
Nope.
Inspiration. Oh wait, that's right. You can only sell this to the black market.
What thing is that?
Inspiration dust.
Ah, yes, inspiration dust.
2 charges. Enhances the minds, drives paranoia.
I mean, you can store it, you can give it to Turvu and ask Turvu to sell it. Heck, you could probably even be like, Lord Vilantru, we've found this thing. And Lord Vilantru would probably be like, oh, wonderful. I'll use it at my next party.
I don't think that's a good idea. I think I'll just keep this hidden somewhere.
Alrighty. Speaking of Lord Vilantru, once we've got all this paperwork done, are you going to want to be checking in with your technically boss?
Yeah, we should probably check in with him.
Yeah, that'd be good idea.
It's been a while.
Well, it's only been 1 day since you last saw him.
Oh yeah.
But
I gotta tell him that we have done a job well done.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get rid of this note. Oh yeah, living expenses. I'm pretty sure we'll have to pay the rent while we're here.
ah, yes, living expenses.
Let's see. Total would be 1,040 GP each. Okay.
So I forget what cost of living level you're playing at.
Not 1,040. God dang it. Why am I thinking of an extra 0 digit?
I don't know, what cost of living level are you at?
Average.
Okay. So that means each of you is spending 10 gold per month.
And rent is, well, it's 200 GP. But Turbo and I agreed to split that.
Yes.
So, in total, we gotta pay 100 and...
Actually, if you just pay 200, that gives you a wealthy level of living, so that's perfectly fine.
Okay, well,
Which actually means that if there's something you want in your home that's 5 gold or less, it just takes you 1d10 minutes to find it.
Okay. Before I worry about the rent, let me actually, add this up and then split the money so I can pay it.
Okay. I was about to say, calm down.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting overwhelmed.
Money is hard.
Fen, stop bothering me about things in the chat. I'm GMing.
Let's see. I'm going to calculate all the gold. I'm going to calculate the silver and copper separately, just for simplicity's sake. Or what I would consider simple. I don't know if you guys... Yeah, I'm going to sell the shield steel for that much money. Or that cost you gave me earlier.
There we go. Put the map tool there so that you can just look at the beautiful place. I can run that through for anyone watching the stream while you're doing this.
Yeah.
No, I can't sell the mage. Okay, so if I sell them one of mage armor, it's 277. The amount of charges it currently has, and 5 silver. But that's if I don't haggle. Or with the haggle?
If you want to haggle, there'll be diplomacy checks involved. At this point, it's probably not worth it to try to haggle.
Yeah, okay, so it's just 277?
Yep.
Press the bracers of armor. So that's half the cost, right?
Correct. I've already given you the half cost. So the value I gave you is the half.
That's 1,000.
No, the 1,000 is the total. I gave you 1,000. I gave you 2,500 is what you can sell the bracers for.
Okay, 2,500.
So,
Okay.
Mal,
Yes.
Turvu was given the proof that the folk were going to get killed. Does Turvu try to track down his old associates with that proof?
Probably.
Okay. Does Turvu want to recruit whatever survivors there are to his side?
He wasn't it.
Okay. There's actually relatively few survivors. Oh my.
Yeah.
But you know what? They will bring whatever hill folk there were, and along with them. So, we get them all over here. Because, yeah, they will all gladly come work for Turvu in his new endeavor, considering, oh, Turvu's got money now.
7,602 gold.
Divide that in half.
Yep.
Now, there will be, fees and salaries associated with this, but assuming that you're willing to pay that, everyone will be more than willing to join in. So there's actually only 8 survivors.
Yeah. You know, we have 200 platinum and another 2 platinum pieces. Mind if I put that in the Sky's treasury account?
What's one? So why not?
We have 202 platinum pieces from this adventure. I was thinking of just putting the platinums in the Sky's treasury. Like in the bank account.
Sure.
Cool. So, how do you guys want to? So, are you going to want to hire on the alley bashers and hillfolk?
Pronotia might be a bit reluctant about this. As long as Turbu can keep them in line, he won't have a lot of objections.
Okay.
Derek won't have any objections.
They're going to be wanting 3 silver pieces per person per day.
Wow.
So that will end up being an additional 72 gold per month. And that will give you 8 trained hirelings.
Okay, 7 to 20. Okay.
That's 720 silver. So,
That'll be 72 gold a month.
and that
Yeah,
is food and lodging and spending money and all that. So that's add that to the living expenses.
Okay, so living expenses, it's now at 200 GP, plus 72 GP, so 270 GP. Alright, I can pay that for this month. I can definitely pay it. You know what? I think I'll take their payment out of the treasury. What about that?
That works.
Yeah. And you guys are, way better than the previous people were, because you have plenty of space. I assume you're going to give them each a bed, or are you going to give each of them a bedroom?
There's enough rooms for everyone to have their bedroom.
I'm sorry?
I don't even think we have enough rooms for each person to have their bedroom.
You have 6 spare rooms at this area, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 deeper in the fortress. But yeah, I've kind of set up here assuming that you're going to give them their 2 rooms, 4 people per room, so they don't have bunks, and then you can give them a couple little dining areas and like a storeroom each side.
That works.
That works.
Let me make all of these people owned PCs so that you can frickin' drag them around if you ever want to. Set guards and such.
Hired guards. There's 200 pieces.
And then Turvu is sort of like a Castellian. There we go. I'm just messing around with tokens for the fun of it right now.
Okay, so how much we have in silver?
Mal.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Yeah.
For Turvu?
He's
got the core of his old gang back. He's got his little shrine of Oladamara.
Yeah.
Just don't cause a ruckus while I'm studying. And I expect you to document unexpected expenses. That comes out of these folks. Alright, now I'm going to add what remains of the rock chest into the treasury.
I love how Tarantino is slowly becoming stuffy dad character. Now Turvu, don't throw parties.
Turvu goes, okay, and then they start the first political parties of Cauldron.
They have a big party all night, and then you bust in, annoyed, and even Dirk is there. And you're like, Dirk, I expected better than you, and you're like, shut up, you don't know.
I'm gonna explicitly make those secret doors secret. There we go. I just like how this is beginning to look like a proper, base now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have lots of funds in the treasury. This will be for unexpected expenses as well as paying for the hired.
And remember for what you're carrying on you that it's 10 gold pieces per pound.
10 gold pieces per pound.
So you can't carry all your money on you all the time.
Okay. So I should separate the treasury and what I have in my purse.
Yeah. Also, during the coming downtime, your new hires will be like, shit, something smells, and they will discover the corpses of several dark mantles that starved to death in the corner after your whole thing got sealed off and no one went in there for ages.
Well, that fixes the fucking tunnel problem. We now have a tunnel that gives you things in.
Yeah.
Huh.
That flopping sound that you heard was them falling from the ceiling and twitching
not
around.
Even, like, wild animals would, like, walk in there since we also sealed the tunnel.
You sealed it off, so there was no way for anything to get in.
Like, 3 things just flopping down.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, man, I'm gonna be fancy. We have what's labeled 4,500 GP worth of art, silverware, clothes, etc. And I'm just gonna put up some art displays around the base.
Okay. So just you going around the place, like you have paintings in the hallway. You've got art objects, like even in your underlings' quarters, there's art stuff.
As Toteem's doing this, Dirk is going to make fun of it, and using his sleeves of many garments, get Royal's clothing and saying, yes, this is quite elegant.
I roll my eyes.
The sleeves of many garments, which will be used for mainly just jokes.
And you know what? Here's 2 silver because that's what's left after I organized all the other stuff.
Wait, what?
2 silver pieces.
Yeah, 2 silver.
Alright, but yeah, I gotta find a place to put this stuff. It's a panel for everything, so I have been carrying quite a lot. Okay. I guess I'll have a separate chest in my room that's basically works as a purse. Okay, so you know what? I'll actually put that as Toteem's room.
There you go. A proper bath area now.
I have my fancy Emu brush. They'll probably help us in some situations. Never found a use for it yet. I can slide 50 feet up in the end and use the Emu brush to stay up there.
Nice.
Turn ahead, man.
Also, with these alley bashers and such, if you want to open up a proper shop on the upper floor, you may.
Oh yeah, we have labor.
You can essentially allocate them between guards, labor, and like random stuff. They're there for you to ask to do things. They're not very strong. You know how easy they are to die. You killed a lot of them.
On accident. Yeah, we didn't even kill half of them. The only one we killed was that one guy. Dagger shit too. Or they just died because they were trying to get over the fucking water.
No, a bunch of them got killed coming after you in the
Yeah, a bunch of them died.
Yeah. You killed you guys killed like 30 of them.
I mean, the health up or the out bastards?
Yes. Most of those who escaped were alley bashers, but a couple of hill folk went with them, and now they're working for you.
Yep.
I have flagged them with what they are in case it ever matters. I don't think it ever will.
And hopefully someone will catch that stalker.
Stand guard, look for Joe.
Actually, they probably won't.
And in fact, you may have observed that you haven't really been bothered by Jill since moving to an underground secret base.
Yeah. I swore she visited me at least once during all this.
She met you once on the street.
Yeah.
She might do it again. Who knows?
Yeah.
Been a while. Kinda nice.
I like Chonatian's missing Jill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, guess since I got that money sorted out, I'm gonna buy something real quick, since I'm pretty sure I won't have much time to find the pool like by itself anymore.
I have no idea what I must really money on, if anything.
So, when we're ready to actually go out shopping and such and actually do that, let me know, because I think that will be a fun thing to roleplay. I just want to get all the accounting done before we do it.
Alright, let me just put a note of what I want to buy, and then I'll start working on the spells.
You can do the spells on your own time, too, because... Yeah.
Okay.
We love you, Antonio, but everyone sitting here spinning while you do paperwork is kind of...
Yeah, sorry. I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
You wizards and your spell paper books.
Okay, fine then. Yeah, I can go shopping for something.
We appreciate all the paperwork you do. We just wish you did it other
That
times.
stuff behind you when you're at your desk, like fervently writing. Right there. Get outside the house once in a while.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah, I think I'm done with paperwork for now. I can go shopping.
Yay!
Hey.
So, where all you want to go shopping at?
Well, I need to get an expensive mirror.
Okay.
And I need to get some other magic stuff for the book stuff.
Cool. So do you want to go shopping first, or do you want to go talk to Delantru first?
Oh, yeah. I guess we should report to Valentru.
Yeah. Let's report to Valentru first.
Alright. So when you get to Valantru's house, his guards have you wait, and they escort you into his little side room, past the beautiful carved statues. And after a few minutes of waiting, he comes in and goes, Tonatium! You, whose name I've forgotten that I should have known. Bird boy. Dirk, and Turvu. I heard about how Turvu's been recovering. Please give him my regards. Oh, you've been so glorious. I simply we have to find time for you to come sit. If we can find time for you to come sit, my sculptor can make statues and I can add you to my collection. We simply must.
Could you elaborate the whole collection bit?
He takes you and he leads you back out into the room that you've just walked through with all of the beautiful statues of adventurers and action poses that you've seen.
Do I recognize any of these people?
You're going to start recognizing them as he is introducing you to each of them in turn. I'm not going to go find the list and actually do it. But there are a number of grand and glorious adventurers who have worked under him in the past. And as he's explaining to them and telling you their legends, you go, yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah. And then you realize that each and every one of them has died horribly and never been heard from again, as tends to go for adventurers. And Lord Valantru does look a little sad when he gets to those points. But yes, you've been so ascendant. It's wonderful, and people are getting to know your name. I simply have to schedule time for you to sit and let my sculptor take your sketches so I can add you to this collection. That way, even if you should perish saving the community, I can always go, here are Tonatium and Turvu and Dirk, the great and mighty Forgotten Exiles.
You know, it seems contradictory to be called forgotten while being a statue.
I know. Isn't it marvelous? Such a clever marketing ploy. When do you think you'll be available? I'll talk to my sculptor.
For this week, I was thinking of focusing on furthering my magical studies as well as improving my spell book. I think probably the end of next week will suffice.
Wonderful. Will that be good for you, Dirk?
That'll be fine.
Excellent. I will mark that down then. End of next week.
Turbo will probably still be recovering at this point, so I don't think he can make it.
Oh. Well, he's not going to have to do anything strenuous. Just strike a pose for half an hour or so while someone takes a sketch.
Turbo seems like a tough lad. I'm sure he'll manage.
I'm sure he would. I'm just a little worried.
About what?
No, I guess I'm just worried about him stressing himself out. I mean, I guess I'm just worried in general. I have lost a lot of people important to me lately.
Oh, well, I'm sure everything is going to work out for the best. After all, you've saved the town how many times now?
Guess it was. This would. Let's see. This would be twice now. Maybe a third.
You rescued the orphans. You defeated that great vampire. You've literally saved all of us from drowning. It's simply marvelous. Well, I shouldn't keep you. What, you said you're going to be dealing with magic?
Yes, I need to. I found another spell book. I need to add it to my own.
So, do you know where the Slippery Eel Tavern?
No, I don't think I've been to that one.
Yes, you have. That's where you and Turvu first met.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been there.
So next door, there's a nondescript building. It's not very doesn't advertise normally. It's generally a nobles-only affair. He scurries over to a desk and writes you a little note. That's Garlock's auction house. I hear he's come into possession of a spell book. It's supposed to go up to auction, but I imagine if you give him the right price, he might be willing to let you have it early.
I guess I'll check that out later.
Wonderful. And I'll see you again the end of next week, if nothing comes up.
We'll see you then.
Marvelous. And his guards lead you back out through the halls with the gorgeous lifelike statues. The sculptor's very nice.
Boy.
What's wrong?
No, I just I don't know.
Don't know?
Well, okay. Let me just make a note of this about the spellbook.
With the spellbook, and we have an appointment with the launcher in a week.
Yes. To get sketches so he can have his sculptor make beautiful lifelike statues of you. What is that's causing problems? A spoon.
Launcher, spellbook auction house.
Get back to your market. We have our genius mage doing all our paperwork.
Yes.
So what do you wish to do?
Well, first things first, I still need that mirror.
Okay.
What about Dirk?
I think Dirk is gonna browse. I don't really have anything of, like, complete and utter, I want this. And maybe he'll find something useful.
Do you guys want to stop by Garlock's, see if he has any of the things you want?
Sure, why not?
Alrighty then. So, let's see what Garlock has exactly. We're in a large city. This is a trader. So, in addition to the spell book, so as you go in, let's introduce you to Garlock first. Garlock is he is he's oh, come on, where are you? I know you're in here somewhere. Bub, where are you? Okay, there you are. He's a gnome. He's an old, wrinkled gnome who, you know, when you get to his house, it's nondescript. As mentioned, there's nothing to really distinguish it from the various warehouses around the Slippery Eel. And when you knock on the door, this gnome answers. He's old. He's got thick eyebrows. And he's just like, "We're not a shop. We're not open for business."
Sorry, it's just that Lord Falanchu notified to talk to us about this place.
Do you show him the little writ that he gave you?
Yep.
He goes, "Oh, come in. Auction's not for another week, but it's not uncommon for agents to take a look at the merchandise." And so you can see, he shows you that there's a spell book. In addition, there's a few other items floating around that are absolutely gorgeous. There's a beautiful wooden staff inlaid with arcane symbols of mithril. There's a belt made out of a fine, thin black leather. A golden ring that feels at the same time both hot and cold to the touch. A ellipsoid stone of varied lavender and green. And a beautiful, extravagant orange cape. And he says, "Here, these are the items up for auction. We have here the cape of Zella, who slew the beast of Tenebrous Moor. It will be starting auction bidding at 45,000 gold pieces. We have a lavender and green ion stone that was taken from the tomb of the vampire Annis. It will be starting its auction at 40,000 gold. We have the Ring of Inner Fortitude, starting at 42,000 gold. This is a magical ring that grants immunity to extreme cold and extreme heat. This item, I'm not even sure I'm going to be putting it on auction. It came from the same tomb of the vampire Annis, alongside the elder staff the Ion Stone and the Spellbook, but it's a measly plague rat belt. We may start bidding on that at 5,000 gold. And of course, the Elder Staff of the Scout, starting at 10,000 gold, again from the tomb of the vampire wizard Annas. And of course, the Spellbook of Annas.
Spellbook of Annas.
Yes.
Knowledge history.
So Annas was a fairly powerful wizard who became a vampire. He lived in the vicinity of Greyhawk until very recently. It was sort of news about 2 years ago that someone had slew him, and it seems that these are some of his belongings that have made their way to Garlock's auction house. And then, of course, the Spellbook of Annas, which will begin at 2,000 gold pieces.
I see.
Yes. Mostly I'm looking forward to the sale of the Charlatan's Cape, Annis's Stone, and the Ring of Fortitude. The Elder Staff of the Scout will be quite nice to sell too, but I'm not entirely certain that the Plague Rat Belt and the Spellbook will be sufficient to sell on their own. I may pair those together with the Ion Stone, start the whole bidding at 50,000, and see if we can't get the treasures of Annas to go highly. Does this satisfy my good friend Orbias? I'm sorry? I heard a noise. I don't know if that's a person saying something or...
Must have been a huh noise.
Orbias. You're coming... You have a writ from him? You're coming here representing him, my old friend Orbias Philantru?
Ah, the old man.
Yes. Old.
Well, I'm not sure what any of this stuff even does.
May I inspect it?
I think Tony might be interested in the spellbook.
You can inspect anything you like. They're all magical.
All magical.
In fact, the cape, the stone, and the ring are really magical.
Ugh.
They don't quite knock you out, but you go, whew, come on, need to explicitly not look at that while I'm identifying things. But I'm imagining you don't have 45,000 gold sitting around.
Nope.
So what are you interested in?
Well, I was gonna re-magic the book, but I realized I don't have it prepped yet today.
Well, as you start kind of browsing through it, he goes, "Oh, I can tell you what's in there." And he gives you the... He shows you a write-up of what spells are present in the book, which I will put into the Discord.
I'll see.
Yeah, it's a rather robust spell book.
Actual hand. Chick two.
And you can see that it does, in fact, go up through level 5 spells.
Well,
Annis was a rather powerful necromancer. So, because Tonatium is looking through this list of spells and contemplating things, only Dirk will be able to make the perception check. This is not sight-based. Ah, it's nothing. Don't worry about it.
I guess I'll put the book down.
Yes. I don't know. I've heard that Obias was learning spells from some wizard. The trader's son. Tonatium, yes. So he might be interested in the spell book. But I would expect him to most likely put his money towards that cape. If he has questions, that's the one that will suit his absurdity the most.
What does the cape do?
Why? It's a charlatan's cape. It, thrice per day, in addition to being garish, thrice per day, teleport across the way. And once per day, walk across the ethereal plane. Why, I can simply imagine that Orbias will make great use of that for his celebrations.
Does it make it easy to make a grand entrance?
Yes, it does make it quite easy to make a grand entrance. Well, do you know enough? Do you have enough to take back to your master and let me get on with my day?
Yeah, I'll leave.
Yes. So as you're saying, yeah, Al, the ground shakes. There's a loud boom, and you can hear shouting and screaming outside the auction house.
Oh, great. I'm going to immediately have to run outside, don't I?
So, there's chaos. Crowds in the street are milling about and running. Down the way, there's a man who was complaining about taxes earlier. But one thing of particular note you can tell. Over here, there's a massive burning as a portion of this warehouse has been knocked aside. And a great beast has burst out of the ground.
Oh god.
Oh no, the great beast of an unexpected error! Ah! It's okay, I closed it.
Question.
Yeah?
Did we sleep before this at all?
Oh yeah, you've had like a couple days to get everything set up.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I hate to fight this thing with no fucking panache or resolve.
So let me get those off to the side in case you decide to go back in after. And yeah. Come on. Oh. Really? Google? Come on now. Give me my docs. Oh, you didn't name it the same way. That's why. Okay. So, as you might imagine, it is going to be initiative time.
I do love the ability to draw on my sword as part of my initiative.
So yeah, Dirk, there's this great and powerful creature lumbering over you.
The lion over.
Okay.
I will
Just
strike at
so you know, anywhere that these crowds are is difficult terrain.
I think he just flew over them.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, otherwise I don't want to be 20 movement.
Okay, so you flew over.
And I will strike at you.
That does not hit.
That does not hit, but I'm really fucking glad that was not one.
Tonatium.
What is this? This doesn't look like anything I've seen on this plane. Lost knowledge planes.
That is not a creature from another plane. You do recognize taints of the fiendish about it, but the creature itself is not some sort of demon.
What the heck is this? I'll figure out next turn. But for now, magic missile. Actually, I should probably get out of the crowd first. Magic missiles.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just get that ready.
The magic missiles fly out and belt into the creature, leaving smoldering holes in its carapace. It stops tearing down the walls of this warehouse and turns towards you, Dirk, because your sword had clinged against its shell. As it does, this milling crowd that's kind of running stops. And it might affect you too. I need you to make a will save. Dirk.
Please don't tell me these count as the mining, the distraction ability of swarms.
This is a confusion effect.
Mind affecting, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Alright, so I have will save of 0.
Dirk, as this creature's eyes turn towards you and they spin a little within its head, the effect kind of runs over you and you're not quite sure what's going on. You are confused for the next 5 rounds.
Oh, that's bad.
As you meet its gaze, and it lifts up its claws to attack you. Claw.
I will attempt to parry that claw.
Okay. And a bite.
It was a quick. Well, only the claw that I try to parry hits.
For 10 damage, and
Okay, it saves.
does that beat your combat maneuver defense?
By 1.
Alright. It knocks you 10 feet down in this direction, as you just get slammed by this claw and thrown across the square.
Probably fucking knocked into something.
You are prone, you're in the crowd, and you're confused.
What could it be?
Confusion, Dirk, requires you to give a D100 at the start of your turn.
Alright.
You hurt yourself in your confusion. Deal 1d8 plus strength modifier damage to yourself.
Oh, that's not bad. My strength modifier is shitty.
Dark is confused.
So I take 2 damage.
Yes. Also, before Dirk, these guys weren't caught in there, so they will continue to flee.
That's good. That's.
Donatium.
What about this? Nothing. is this creature? Maybe it's a dungeon. Maybe it's a...
I just like the mental image of Dirk being confused and smashing through a crowd of people
who are all also confused.
As Tentateum's like, what is this?
What role was that, Tentateum?
Knowledge engineering.
As you're looking, realization dawns. This is an Umber Hulk, a creature of the underworld. Nomadic, but often captured and forced into slavery by mind flayers and beholders. They are lumbering, tanky creatures. Their vision has a natural confusion gaze that drives people to temporary insanity. And they have mighty claws and bites.
Which you immediately saw as I got slammed through a crowd.
They are blind, but they can sense any tremors in the earth and have sort of perfect awareness of where creatures are as a result. They can also burrow through the ground as fast as they can move, and are immune to any sort of confusion effects.
That's it. You can sense me on the ground, but... you know what? Yes, let's summon a flaming spear from behind this creature.
Let me go get a flaming sphere.
BRB, gotta get my flaming spear. This would be a very anime as fuck thing going on right now.
Yeah. So you bring a flaming sphere into the back of the warehouse, probably making the fire worse.
Okay, I didn't think that one completely through, but... Gotta fight this creature. Does it make a reflex save?
Does it? That's a very good question. Yes, it does.
So it takes no damage.
That eats one of my nat 20s.
I need a cloak of resistance or something.
Wait, let's see. Okay, but I'll... Instead of the floor, I'll immediately get on the wall, onto the side of the wall and duck for cover.
Okay.
Beepo.
You can now hear a voice down the line shouting, "Oi! What are ya? You stay away from my fruit!"
Okay, Beepo. Don't be an idiot.
So, it's not aware of Tonatium, so it comes down here towards the crowd.
Oh god.
And starts grabbing people off of the ground, picking them up, and just biting into them.
Oh crap!
Dirk.
Let me do my 1d100.
You will attack the nearest creature.
Does the Emperor Hulk count as the nearest creature?
Unfortunately, you're in a mass of civilians who are trampling over you and attacking each other and punching you and all sorts of stuff like that. Would you kindly make an attack?
Someone's gonna die.
Well, you can...
Yeah, So yeah, you're standing up, you're confused, you're dizzy, you're not sure what's going on. Someone just slams into you, you turn around, you cleave your sword through, and you have a moment of horror as you realize that you've just, sliced the intestines open of some poor innocent man.
That is like confusion.
Tonatium.
This is bad. Thinking from a... let's see. I'll move the flaming spear to try to attack the fiendish Umber Hulk again.
Alrighty then. This time it doesn't dodge.
Lightning sphere. It does these.
The fire heats it up.
That close? I could try to go for that. Though that is incredibly risky.
Not tentacle the crowd.
Alright, I'm not gonna tentacle the crowd. Actually, I think I will. Actually, first things first, I think. I will shield myself.
Okay.
And close my eyes.
You do close your eyes. Beppo starts picking up rocks and throwing them towards the creature, falling far short as he just shouts, "You stay away, you big thing!"
Oh my god, it's gonna make this so much harder.
The creature goes towards the sound of those rocks.
Crap, it's out of range.
At about this time,
Like myself, finally.
some guards arrive and start hurrying down the road. Dirk.
Are those the half-orc guards?
Yes, I have my 1d1 nuggets.
Yes.
You're doing it.
You have 2 more rounds of that. You continue attacking the nearest creature,
Jesus
flailing around in the crowd, in front of the guards, slicing down innocents.
Christ.
Damn it.
Tonatium.
Why is it like this?
I really fucking need a close resistance or something to fucking boost my saves.
No, it'll already know what I'm doing. Okay, but let me check one more time what the range on this is.
I'm assuming none of these civilians are higher than level 4.
They're all like level 1.
Yes, I don't get my finesse back.
No.
I'm gonna 5-foot shift.
She dropped down from the wall.
That means it knows where I am. And I am going to limp lash the creature.
Ooh.
But first, I need to make a touch attack.
Yes, you do.
And I'll hit your ass in, she inevitably turns around to attack you.
That will touch it. It's big and easy to touch.
Okay, now I can close my eyes.
Okay. Is there any strength roll or anything involved in this?
Oh yeah.
It's a thing that can be attacked, and if he moves out of range, it will break.
Oh, but first things first, range check if I strike. I gotta roll 3 1d6.
What are these for?
Reducing strength, con, dex.
Thank you. It's been a while since this has happened, so.
If any of them get dropped to 1, he is paralyzed from the neck down.
So that'll affect that. And that. Ouch on that last one.
Yeah, that's 6 con damage. That's 6 con damage.
Well, I did strength con dex in that order. So,
6 dex.
yeah.
But
Beppo.
he definitely felt what happened.
Yeah. Beppo, standing there, goes, "Ah, yeah! Wizard, grab him! Pull him away from my cart!" He says, as he's giving the finger to this giant creature and essentially making eye contact with it.
Oh no.
That was a good website.
Beppo has no stats. Beppo's stat block is he is a stubborn old bastard who will not submit to the confusion.
We'll say infinite.
That is literally the entire description of Beppo. Is he's a stubborn old coot.
Of course, it's the spiteful ones that live longer. That's what I heard once.
So yeah, this Umber Hulk will spin around. As he spins around, he'll come through this way. You guys are under the effect already. The guards will need to make their saves.
Oh god.
So our guards have that. They all fail miserably. And then
Now they're all confused.
trains its eyes on Tonatium and lumbers towards him, swinging at him with a mighty claw.
Of course, this is where the risky part comes from.
Yeah, getting smacked in the face by a giant ogre.
That's a crit threat.
I did not put up the ward. Shit!
Put up shield.
Yeah, but ward stacks my shield.
Fortunately, he's reduced in strength presently. So he only deals 11 points of damage.
Ow!
That's fine. Don't be a baby.
And does 17 beat your combat maneuver defense?
39 is 7. Wait, 8. What's it? Is that what the penalties?
Yes.
Damn it.
So he will knock you back into the wall of Garlock's auction house.
That doesn't affect your whiplash at all.
Nope. Confusion for guards. Hurts itself, hurts itself, hurts its nearest ally, acts normally.
You can roll low to act normally. Why do I keep fucking rolling high on the confusion effects but low on saves?
So their strength is that, so that's going to be... Two hurting themselves. Really hurt themselves. Ouchie ouch. And then, the one who attacks the nearest one will attack top guy. Oh shit.
Thought they were gonna die.
Has to take a 5-foot step back in order to do that. Oh god. So she's just killed her boss.
It sucks.
And this guy's just going to be like, what the fuck? And, run.
Wait, so one of them saved?
No, he didn't save, he's just,
He's just as confused.
He's just able to act normally. Yeah. And he's going to do his, attempt to do his job. He's going to be like, oh shit, what are you doing, Marianne? And attempt to restrain Marianne. And fail miserably. Okay. Dirk! Roll low!
Yay!
Dirk may act normally!
Flying!
So Dirk is standing there in the crowd, coming to his senses, as he's covered in the blood of the innocent.
And he sees, like, Tonatium, like, smacked into a wall. Doing best to hold, like, what seems to be an ethereal rope, like, around it.
Yeah, like, fly forward. Attacking.
That will not hit. No, wait, no, that will hit because of the drained dexterity.
Oh, yay.
Because its AC has plummeted to 17.
Is he immune to precision damage?
He is not.
Alright, that's good.
It is, It is not. You don't know its gender.
It's taking a hit.
Yep. It took a bit of a hit. As you pierce it, but it still stands. Tonatium.
So the fact that I'm still holding on with the rope means that it's still there, and I don't open my eyes. I can feel the direction of the strain, which means I know where, like, it's at least 20 feet in one direction.
Yep.
So roll your strength dex on.
Oh yeah,
Strength con dex, because that's the order I wrote it down here at.
conduct.
So that drains its strength a lot, that drains its con a lot, and it is now paralyzed.
It's paralyzed on the way down now. Or from the neck down.
From the neck down.
They still talk, it still feels pain.
It is roaring loudly as Beppo is just throwing things. So, throwing rocks.
Lucky you can coup de grace.
Yeah. No, the rocks are like landing around here. Beppo's not very strong. It roars and roars and just looks in Tonatium's direction, growling, limply trying to move. Guards.
God. And the guard is beating the shit out of some.
So this guard here is going to attack that guard.
Oh my god, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Guards are...
And that'll hit.
Sucks.
Ouch. That involved a 5-foot step. So now you are going to hurt yourself in your confusion. And so are you. Oof. This guard is not looking very nice. These guards are not looking very nice at all. Dirk, you have come to your senses.
Yeah.
As you see someone now standing up in a window over here at the tavern. She's holding a baby, and she's looking at the Umber Hulk, swaying back and forth.
Full round action move to support her.
You're going to move over to her?
I'm gonna fly.
Okay, go do that.
And I will catch her in the lead.
She's standing fine on a balcony. She's just leaning over the window with the baby hanging out the window.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move her back from the window.
Okay.
With the baby?
Yeah. So you grab the baby and pull her back. Good. Tonatium.
Can someone come over here and stab this thing?
You can make your flying experience of the leg as it can't make its reflex save it paralyzed.
But I need to see where the spear is so I don't hit someone, but I will get confused the moment I open my eyes.
Maybe.
No, I'm still struggling to hold it.
Okay. That strength drains even further. Yeah, it's already paralyzed.
Yeah, you just need to maintain the strength.
Yeah, I just need to maintain it, but, like, I could probably, like, attack it myself, but I don't want to look at it.
Beppo keeps throwing rocks. I'm just going to remove Beppo from the everything. The Hulk is now moaning in Undercommon. Do any of you speak Undercommon?
I do not.
I speak Common and Orin.
Tonatium is close enough that Tonatium may make a perception check. As this thing is clearly speaking. And through its mumbling in a language you don't understand, you do make out one word that you sort of recognize. Sertius. Guard time! Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Jeez, two people are getting attacked.
This guy's like, shit. As he just, actually he's gonna be there. Because he's got a pole arm.
How the hell do you fail a paralyzed opponent?
He's
He
just,
was charging forward with his spear and he tripped.
Let me guess, he's gonna pole vault over the thing.
oh god.
Oh, he killed himself.
Yeah, he stumbles and skewers himself with his own glaive. Or his own serum, excuse me.
I like my pole vaulting idea earlier. Just he pole vaults, but then he just falls too hard on the floor.
As Mercenary Guard 6 attacks Mercenary Guard 197. Actually, that's not the right one. That's the right one. Missing. 197 attacks 6. Hitting. Mercenary Guard 6 is also not looking particularly good right now.
Mercenary Guards are killing each other.
Dirk!
So Baby and Women are fine now?
The woman is actually screaming, "It's a demon! I have to get rid of it!"
Oh.
Is she under the confusion effect or something?
What sort of... Give me a check.
A check.
Yeah.
What kind of check would this be?
What sort of... Offer me something.
Perception?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, you have no clue.
I have no clue what she's talking about. The total team has his eyes, so it's not like he understands what's going on. He just knows someone's screaming demon.
Also, you're not aware of her yet, but she does have to make that. So,
Derek is going to look at her and say, "Look, ma'am, you need to stay here. It's not safe."
okay. And?
And he's going to wait to see what she does.
Okay.
He doesn't want to leave her and our baby to be potentially falling out the window.
Tonatium.
God damn it. What's it gonna take for someone to get over here? The thing is paralyzed, right? No,
Yes.
up to its head's paralyzed.
Yeah.
The only its head we can move.
Trying to get close enough.
So you're going to come down behind it.
I'll try.
Okay. It snaps at you fruitlessly, as it can't actually move to get itself close enough to bite you.
Alright, I got close enough. It will be a full round to coup de grace, wouldn't it?
It would be.
You know what, I'll just focus on holding it.
Okay. It continues howling. We have mercenary guard time.
We have mercenaries coming together, possibly.
Zubba-da-dubba-dub-dubba-da. First one comes to her senses and goes, "Holy shit, what are we doing?" As she turns and starts coming down here. But as she does, the other one attempts an attack of opportunity against her.
Is she dead?
skewing her and leaving her dead on the ground. Kiri comes to her senses and goes, "Oh God, what's going on?" And hurries back inside the apartment, putting her baby on a table and twitching and going to cower in a corner. Tonatium, are your eyes open?
Nope, still holding.
Okay.
Dirk, I need you here now.
Dirk.
Why?
Hey, Dirk, I need you to make a will save.
Jesus Christ.
It's looking that direction.
It's looking at this direction right now?
It is currently looking... That's the direction it's facing. So as you fly out of the place, you will have to make a save.
I have to fly with my eyes covered.
Sure, make a fly check.
My fly check.
Don't roll a 1. Yeah, you're fine.
I'm trying to move behind it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Tonatium.
Don't know if I'm out of its sight.
You are. Well, you don't know. That's right, you can't see where it's looking. But if you want a coup de grace, you're going to have to open your eyes.
I'm just going to have to get behind to where it was. Or should I keep moving? I think that's what it was looking this way.
So do you open your eyes?
Yes.
Make a perception check. Okay. Yeah, it's looking the other way.
Coup de grace.
Roll your automatic critical hit. As it almost certainly fails its save and dies.
Almost?
Almost certainly. I need your damage roll.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. You had to roll 1 damage in order. Yeah. He's dead. Barely. Mercenary guard, it recovers his senses and goes, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And panicking and panting and looking around and goes, "Fire! We need the MTA!"
I'll dispel a fireball.
Probably gone by now.
No, it's been sitting there, but it dispels. Okay. Dirk, you may make a perception check.
Second page?
Yeah.
Right.
You got no freaking clue. Okay. Tonatium.
Honestly, no.
Okay. Shoot, I don't know how to... Give me a second.
Yeah. This warehouse is really aflame.
Jump, blur, magic vein, large potion.
Tonatium may make a perception check also.
Okay.
Okay. No. Nothing noticed.
Lights, camera. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I don't know. Is there water nearby or something?
Not that you can see.
Not that I can see. Oh, dirt. Is the dirt loose around here?
Yeah.
I'll take a potion of enlarged person on myself.
Okay.
Big boy, don't you?
Big boy Tonatium.
You know what? I will attempt to put out the flames by scooping up dirt and burying a fire.
You start scooping up dirt and laying it on a fire.
Yep.
The guard turns to you and says, "Step back! The MTA should arrive shortly. It's not safe, citizen."
Don't worry, I'm used to fire.
And Dirk may make a perception check. Dirk, you see someone come out of Garluck's auction house, carrying a bundle in her arms. Dirk.
I'm gonna fly over and attempt to stop her.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna attempt to stop her.
By?
Grabbing onto her shoulder.
Okay, make a attempt something against her combat maneuver defense. So you go to touch her shoulder, and she doesn't let you. Tonatium.
Continue to try to put out the fire.
Guard's like, "But I'm not paying enough for this."
So how's the dirt working for the fire?
It's not working very well. It's a pretty big fire.
Hmm.
She turns, she looks at you
Then
and says,
I'll try to take precautions to try to contain it.
okay. She turns, she looks to you, Dirk, and says, "This ain't none of your business, bird brain." Not you, Tonatium, Dirk. "None of your business, bird brain." As she kind of bundles everything under one arm, takes a step back, uncorks a vial, and drinks it. Dirk.
Let's see if I can do anything about that. Nothing I can do. Absolutely anything.
Actually, before Dirk, I'm sorry.
Or was it? I know I had it.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da! These two gnomes start arriving, wands out, and spraying water out of their wands towards the warehouse. Now, Dirk.
Well, looks like Tonatium's can't do much help. You want to call him over?
Can I attempt to actually, I don't know what I want to do. I don't think I can attempt to target a strike on a creature I can't see.
No, you cannot.
Should I just target a strike her right off the bat?
5.
I'm gonna just walk over and try to grab it where I saw she was.
Okay. Make a 1d100. Make a attack versus the combat maneuver. You know the drill. Grapple roll. So you reach out into where you think she is, and you grab her, and you get her into a grapple.
Nice.
Do you say anything to Tonatium?
Yeah, we call that to him. Hey, we have a thief, I think.
Tonatium. Dirk is wrestling with something invisible.
I don't think I saved that. Come over here. Where is it? I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire where I'll take out the scroll of Fairy Fire and cast where Dirk is.
Yay.
Now we can see invisible people.
Yeah. But I'm grappling.
The mercenary comes over and goes, "Oi, stop in the name of the law!" Shimmying over here, Gwisarm out, bleeding from multiple stab wounds. Half-orc teeth out. And she just goes, shit, and drops the bundle. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Perhaps I'll take this opportunity to call... Wait, did she come from the Garlock's auction?
Yeah, she just grabbed a bunch of shit from Garlock's auction that was getting showed off to you.
I think I'll call Garlock over if he's still there.
Garlock was not there. Garlock had run into his warehouse to fight the fire and keep it from spreading. But as you call for him, he comes out of his warehouse, comes over, picks it up, is very effusive and very grateful, and actually goes ahead and gives you the spell book for free.
Oh, hey, thank you.
As a, you just saved me from having 100,000 gold worth of stuff stolen. Here, have this pittance of a spell book.
Spellbook of Anis, right?
Yeah, the spell book of Anis.
Anis.
The list of which is in the Discord.
What I should have done right off the bat, though, Kit.
Stabbed.
Targeted strike arms.
Yep.
The target takes no damage but drops one item of my choice. She's holding it all as a bundle.
Yeah. The guard looks at the two of you and looks at Dirk and goes, so, I saw you killing a lot of innocents, but I think that creature did something. And as far as I'm concerned, it killed them and it killed the other guards, and that's all of our story?
Yes, that'll work. That'll do.
I'll be for the best.
And about this time, the two gnomes come over. What was going on here? What?
We got a thief. If we were talking about what happened right before, this creature.
Big Jim points at big dead body.
They come and they look at this and go, a number Hulk. Why is there a number Hulk? You shrink. Why is there a number Hulk?
I have no idea.
This is not normal, not at all. That's one of Mavu's rare warehouses. We should speak with them. Bring them in for questioning. Yes. We'll bring Mavu in for questioning. He's been complaining about the taxes. This may have been some misguided thing of his. Yes. Thank you for your service, citizen. I think that's the Tonatium fella that works for Lord Valantru. Ah, thank you. Citizen. He's still a citizen.
I guess ultimately I am.
They salute. And, say, please, keep yourself under control. We are the newly formulated magical, what's the T stand for? I don't really know. Threats. We are the newly established Magical Threats Agency. Apparently, actually I think we were established because of you.
Huh. Figures.
But in any case, thank you, citizen. And they turn and they head off with the mercenary guard to escort this young woman to prison.
Prison.
So Dark, was there anyone else that we needed to check up on that got injured during the fight? I had my eyes closed during the whole time.
I'm just gonna fly up to the window and look at her. Are you okay there, ma'am?
She's nodding, saying, yes, why did I want to throw my baby out of the window?
That's what you're doing.
It was the influence of this creature.
Thank goodness it's gone. And I think that's a great way to end the session with the start of Chapter 4.
Yay. So I'm just gonna say this. I think that was like pretty awesome with what I did.
I just love how anime as fuck that battle.
I mean, like, I had like a lot of AoE spells prepped, but then like I was like, oh yeah, I will just hurt a lot of people if I try doing this.
So
like,
that's how much XP each of you gets for that fight that you just went through. And then we need to pull in the spider.
3 plus 2, 4, 0.
And I shit no experience for that. I thought that was the experience you were getting from the spider. I was like, what?
No. Nope, that's the experience for fighting the Umber Hulk.
Yeah, that's what we have for fighting.
But yeah, that was pretty awesome. And I felt like there were stakes that it held since it was taking place in the middle of a crowd.
And then 1050 more for the fight with the spiders.
That would be a level up.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Level ups.
Let's get the HP out of the way.
Yay, HP.
Favorite and least favorite part of session? Actually, let's all say the least favorite part of session together. Paperwork.
Yay,
I should really learn to do that more often.
Yes.
6 more HP.
Yay! More HP.
Yay, 65 HP.
Okay, so I really thought I was about to die when I got smacked by that thing.
Yeah, fortunately you had drained its strength a bit.
Yeah, just imagine, like, the fight starts, Derek runs in, gets confused, tries to block an attack, gets slammed away, then you come in, limb flash it, get the shit kicked out of you as you're holding onto a limb flash, and it finally just falls.
Yeah. It was a very epic moment.
Yeah.
Tonatium doesn't need to make a perception check to see Jill kind of on the rooftops a couple blocks over with her hands on her heart going, oh, such a beautiful display.
He's so heroic and big.
She doesn't need to make a perception check to see me face palming at the sight of her.
Yeah.
We're level 9 now.
Yay. You're, I think you are supposed to be level 5. So you're almost twice the level you're supposed to be.
Yeah. Let's do I get to level 9.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm remembering from Mummy's Mask, is meaning we're getting to about the point where your power lets you stand against what you're going to run into. So, yay.
It doesn't mean that we could just run in guns blazing.
No, you can never do that.
No, never do that. But like, it also makes like fights and dungeons a lot more interesting because like I like to go with like the stealth approach, see what I can get away with.
So, what were folks' favorite parts of this session?
This fight, it was definitely this fight. But I think that's like just because like the stakes were high since there were like a lot of citizens around and oh god, every dodgy spell I do just hurts more people. What do I do? I have limb flash, but that also means like being vulnerable.
Only like 5 random civilians died, 4 of which at Dirk's hand.
Hi.
How does Dirk feel? How does Dirk feel about that?
People.
That's true, you only killed 2 people. How does Dirk feel about that?
Sad.
Your homework, if you choose to accept it, is to write a little journal about how Dirk feels.
You left in his diary.
Oh damn it! I should really do like in-game character journals because I think that would be a good thing for help practice typing, but like also help characterizing my character.
Heck yeah.
I've had a lot less resolve than I'm supposed to have.
Han and Ray write journals after their games.
Damn it.
Ray's journal is hilarious because she's 8 and she's kind of shit at writing.
Yeah.
And she like has the 8-year-old jerky writing. So you'll see her thing and she'll have misspelled words and big kid-like letters as she's describing, epic D&D stuff. Yeah, no, if you do those would be cool.
Yeah. What's the one line give me on my save? Yeah, I finally get 3 on my save now instead of 2.
Yay!
I need a cloak resistance or something.
Wow, you're way off. If that was the case, you're way worse off than me. Because my least powerful save was sport at 3.
So, Detective Antonio, something was bothering you earlier, and I could hear you making the way Detective Antonio sounds. So I'm curious, what is Detective Antonio thinking here?
Actually, the first part was... Wait, how early were you talking about? Because that made my answer. Because I'm always thinking of conspiracy stuff.
Tell me what conspiracies you have thought of.
I was thinking... Okay, first one. I was thinking Lord Falanchi might turn us into statues.
What?
Yes, that was my logic, yes.
How?
Because he invited us over the statues, and I was like, wait, if these are all adventures, and how come we never see them? But then you're like, they died! I was like, okay, but... Okay. But look, until my suspicions are confirmed or deconfirmed, I will be suspicious of every small thing. My second one was I was thinking that this monster was like some sort of... It was supposed to be like a show. Like, the Orc guards come in from Drakthar, or like, that were associated with Drakthar. They come in to be themed to gain everyone's trust, so they can like do illegal activities, like underneath people's noses. But then like saw that thief who was like taking advantage of this opportunity to steal stuff. And the beholder may or may not be involved, since it mattered something.
Yes, it did mutter the beholder's name.
But now I'm wondering if, like, Tonatium even recognizes the name in character.
It's up to you whether or not Tonatium remembers the name.
I think Tonatium would remember, but me as a player has trouble remembering in detail.
Yeah.
So, Daddy, do you want to know why my fucking saves are so horrible?
The last theory, which was like somewhere between the stones and the monster, was, is this my stomach actually need to go, or am I going to call its bluff?
And the answer is you called its bluff and you really needed to go, so now you're sitting there in a pile of poo.
In a pile of poo.
I don't know. I think it was the bad spicy noodles yesterday.
So yeah. Like it's a swashbuckler, right, Danielle?
Mm-hmm.
Now normally swashbucklers get an attribute called Charmed Life, where they get to add the charisma modifier to every saving throw. I don't get that because my resolve ability replaces it. Which is why I don't add my charisma to my saving throws. I can roll twice, take better result for fortitude and will saves. But it's still shit will saves, so it kind of doesn't matter.
Well, trade-offs.
Trade-offs.
In trade-off, I can just not go unconscious. I can just say,
I once had a character that, like, once per day, he could, like, make any roll and tries to take better results. And it was mixed bag. I think my favorite part was, like, how he almost mind-resisted the obviously very powerful sorceress. Almost.
So now we're beginning to get going. Let's see. This is kind of the end. We're coming up on the end of Act 1.
The end of Act 1.
For the story. Because there's 12 chapters. So, about 4 chapters per act.
Oh my god. Because I gotta level up both my Bab and one of my Ronin abilities leveled up, so now I have a 19 to hit.
I should put notes. I think I'll level up later, but I think I will put a note.
Yes, please remember to level up before next session, Antonio.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't want more paperwork. I have a question, though, Kit.
Yeah?
I've actually never played as a character that gets, like, the double Bab. How does that work out?
You get 2 attacks around.
I get 2 attacks around, and then
Yeah.
one is at the first one, and then the next one is at the second.
Yep.
So you're saying this entire time I could have been attacking twice a turn?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, then, I'll remember that.
I think
So that technically means I did kill 4 people.
Yep.
Don't worry, it was the monster's influence.
Yeah, so I can. Dirk is there. Dirk is like, I killed 4 people today, and Tony Team's just like, doesn't matter. It was the monster's influence, and it's not like they had families or anything. Little girl crying in the street, Daddy.
Family issues onto dead civilians.
Yeah.
Dirk immediately goes to the bar.
Daddy, Mommy, Big Brother, Little Sister, no.
Flashback during a political purge. No.
There are a lot more dead people than just those guys, actually, because a lot of those commoners were failing constantly and beating each other up. So,
yeah. Mass hysteria.
Little girl gets punted to the moon.
it was a bit of a thing.
That is a good thing to know that I have 2 attacks every time I do a standard action.
Gosh, I've been looking forward to running this fight for 3 months now.
I thought it was awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I love that that the Lash came in and just neutered the Umber Hulk, but the chaos kept on going.
It was like Team kept figure out to calm down the chaos while holding this creature.
It was like seriously.
Yeah, I see. He risks getting caught in its gaze.
Whiplash is low-key one of the best spells in the game.
And you're right, it was...
Hey, this thing is really hard to fight. Touch attack with no savings. There was no saving throw involved. You now start losing your stats.
It was such a... And it was definitely an epic moment. The entire town is now going to be talking about how Tonatiuum single-handedly slew the beast.
I say the baby.
Congratulations, Tonatiuum.
There became a badass in universe.
Yeah, you literally used a spell and pinned this thing down, and this bird that was flying around. I mean, that's not going to be as dramatic in the eyes of the crowd that's fleeing and the people hiding as the wizard standing there holding the mystic chain, pulling it to the ground, then going around. And what weapon did you use to kill him?
A dagger, cold iron dagger,
and slicing the throat of this beast with a dagger. I mean, yeah. And then growing giant and working to put out a fire.
Yeah, that one didn't work out as well as I hoped,
but the people are that's the legend.
The only downside to Whiplash is it doesn't work on creatures that don't have necks.
Oh.
Yeah, it has to be it's like a noose around the character's neck.
Well, they could still make a noose around it.
So, you can't do Whiplash on a fly. For instance.
Well, let's rewind this whole fight then.
It has a neck.
I'm just giving you a new shit.
But yeah, that was awesome, especially since I knew the moment like I stepped off the walls, it could sense my footsteps and it can put two or two together and it makes me the biggest target. Which means like not only do I have to like hold this on for long enough, I have to like survive doing it.
If I wasn't confused, I'd be standing in front of you taking the blows.
Yeah. It still had 54 hit points left when it died.
Kill it with one hit.
When it died, it still had 54 hit points left.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting like I thought that was awesome. Like, think about how thematically awesome it is to like have it on a magical noose, like just like trying to strangle it, then it like smacks you into the wall, but because like the wall stopped you from going too far, the rope is still in effect.
Yeah. That's exactly that. I'm like, okay. Is it gonna... No, it's gonna do that because it's its left arm, so it's gonna fly you in that direction. I'm like, what direction will you actually fly? I was tempted to have it fly you down the alleyway and break the rope, but I'm like, no. If it hit you with the right arm, you would have gone down the alley, but it hit you with the left arm, so... Into the wall you go.
Yeah, that would have gotten uglier a lot faster.
Does Signature Deed work with my panache stuff as well?
I have no idea.
This is great class featuring Gunslinger, but what?
We'd have to look it up and check. Yeah, I think that's going to end the stream. Wonderful day.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace. See ya.